Alright. Hello. How we doing, everyone? How we doing? Welcome to the stream and welcome back after all this time. It's been a little while. Anyhow, we're back and we're going to look at some HP2. Because who doesn't want to look at HP2 GBA? Am I right? It's a great game. I know it's been a little while and I appreciate that we do have some new games that we should probably be covering, like Silent Hill 2, Dead Rising Remake, which I have a story about that one in a minute I would like to share, amongst other games. We'll get to them, and of course it is meant to be horror month, so we're supposed to be doing horror games, but whatever. We'll get to them, we will get to them, just not during this month. Horror games are going to be coming out of horror month at the moment because I've got no time this month. But anyway, you're getting something from me at the very least. So a couple of updates, I suppose, to begin with. I'm now on a brand new internet infrastructure, meaning that everything that you saw from me before on past streams and that is completely different now. The old internet no longer exists. It's effectively under the ground in the bin. We're now on a different internet, so we're on the fiber internet, and the internet wiring's actually put in a completely different area now to get here, which is a shorter area. It's better. So overall, a vast improvement. We now have better speeds, of course, here, and in general everything should be a lot better. Obviously, bear in mind that I haven't had a lot of time lately because of other things, other commitments outside of YouTube that have kind of drawn my attention away from sorting a lot of things out, which means that, yeah, I haven't had a ton of time to dedicate to sitting down, redoing settings and everything inside of Streamlabs and that for streams, because of course I would like to do some fiddling about to improve it and that. Of course, now we got better internet, etc. But I've done a little bit. Hopefully it will look a little better now, but it's only a small amount. Anyway, yeah, so there you go. But I thought we could just jump in and just play a bit of HP2 GBA. Why not? It's chill, you know. But anyway, I'll be talking to you a lot throughout the whole stream, so just feel free to jump in whenever you like. Yeah, otherwise I guess we might as well jump on in. I will also quickly just open up the Discord just to make sure that we've got that all open and good to go. Right, let's load it up. Alright, here we go. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. We don't need save games in this realm. Anyhow, if you want to look at all the story of this, by the way, then I'm sure you all know it by now, let's be honest. But if you don't, then feel free to just look at the freaking series that I did of it, where you can look at all the story in more detail. Like I said, we're here really just to chill and play this rather than take it really seriously. But yeah. No Guitar Hero. Nah, I don't know when we'll next do a Guitar Hero stream. Possibly never. It was a right pain in the ass to sort that one out, to be honest, after we did it. It was actually a nightmare sorting that out, because so many of the songs are blocked worldwide, so you have to go through the editor to remove every single one of those. And it's very time consuming, and at the end of the day, it takes too much of my time away when I could be doing other things. So I doubt we'll be doing Guitar Hero again anytime soon, if ever. I mean, DJ Hero, though, on the other hand, is ironically enough okay, because none of the songs are, strictly speaking, copyrighted. Obviously, you know, they are real songs that are copyrighted, but because they're remixes, they don't get copyrighted, which is kind of interesting. I was surprised by that. Anyway, how am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing alright, thanks, Chloe. I'm doing fine. Been busy. Very, very, very busy. But yeah, I'm doing alright otherwise. It's kind of nice to try and not be busy for once, I'll be honest. Anyway, nice to see you fly as well. Welcome, welcome. Also, I appreciate, by the way, everyone, that today's stream was kind of such a last-minute notification, because to be honest I wasn't sure if I was going to actually do it or not. But anyway, hopefully people have got the message that it's happening. But anyway, yeah, it was very last minute. What's going on with Molly's Sprite? Man, I don't know. having a new look. Why not? It's interesting that looking at Streamlabs, my voice is a bit quieter compared to usual. Even though it's quite turned up, to be fair. I'm surprised. I guess I could turn this up a little bit. Why not? There you go. Right, when this is done and we get to the actual gameplay, I've got a few things I was going to mention, because they're kind of important. I wish we could see the hag properly in gameplay, but no, just a cutscene. God, it feels weird. It feels like it's been ages since I last played this, but we actually played it back in, I think, March. It was either March or February. Either way, I really like this. Did you notice YouTube changed their logo? They changed far more than just their logo. They changed a lot of the general design and layout and things, and I'm gonna be honest, I hate it. I especially hate what they've done with the notification design now. It's horrible. I mean, it's red on black. So basically the black just blends into the red. It's such a weird change. I don't know why they did that. I preferred it before when it was white on red. It was so much easier to see. Whoever came up with this design choice needs to learn how color coding works. But other than that, yeah, I guess it's alright. Yeah, I also hate the whole thing now. If you look at when you watch a YouTube video now, you'll notice that the bar at the bottom, the red bit, is now red, and then it goes into sort of a pink nearer the bit where you're actually at in the video. It's kind of like a gradient almost. It's a reddy pink gradient, and it looks awful. I'll be honest, it looks so horrible. But fair enough. I mean, they had to come up with something, didn't they? They got to change the look after all these years. Why not? Alright, so that's the button for opening stuff again. Okay, good. Yeah, I know how to open a Switch. I've played this game far too many times. I do mean far too many times. Yeah, I noticed notification colours. Yeah, notification colours is horrible. I don't know why they changed that one to what they did. It's the worst colour coding choice. Well, I know, actually, to be honest, beyond that, everything is the worst colour coding choice I've ever seen. It's horrible. I don't know who came up with those choices, but they definitely shouldn't be in charge of art. They need to be taken off the art direction team. They need to get an actual artist in. Although I say that, quite a lot of these more recent designs of things are pretty horrible in not only art but general design. Especially if you look at something like COD HQ. Jeez. I mean, they've changed it now for Black Ops 6, but it's still not brilliant. It's better than I guess it was. It was awful before, but still. Did I leave something? No, I didn't. Okay. I've got it on dark mode as well. It's changed for me. I think it changes for people that are partners with YouTube and that already, and then for people that are just, I guess, known as the common folk to YouTube, probably not. It hasn't changed for everyone yet, I know that, because a friend of mine has still got the old design. I've got the new one, but yeah. So, you'll get it eventually, Chloe, and then you'll cry, I guess, but there you go. Enjoy the crying, it will last for a long time. As you wonder why they changed it. I know one of my accounts changed, but another one hadn't. But now it has. Yeah, it seems to be changing slowly, I think. But like I said, anyone that's a YouTube partner, so like me, for example, I think we've all got it straight away. It's not a good thing, I might add, but there we are. Oh. Anyway, I have done some new stuff, by the way, so if Chip arrives at some point in the stream, then you might notice his name is now highlighted, because I've sort of decided to try out a few things. I've finally given a moderator a moderation privilege. I've been meaning to do it for a long time and I just keep forgetting to do it. Anyway, I gave it to Chip so he could try it out. So if he appears at some point in the stream, then you should be able to tell that he's a moderator really easily, I hope. We'll find out, I guess. But anyway, I will eventually get that handed over to the others. I might add to like Mel, John, etc. But in time. I haven't bothered just yet. Oh god, it's this bit. The leap of faith. I don't know why we have that leap of faith there where you just can't see the platform. It's kind of a bit weird. Odd choice, but there we are. What can I say? Right. Whee. The leap of faith is just evil. Like, I have no idea how close I am to the edge of any platform in there. It's evil. But you gotta give it to Gringotts. They do, you know, have a lot of flowing lava in the middle of a bank. All credit to them. They know how to heat up everything. Yeah, you gotta keep the money warm, I suppose. Right, there we go. Going to be highlighting my life. Yeah, it probably will be. Gringotts has never been in a volcano. It actually has. Oh, you know, it's now a volcanic-related bank. Why would you want to have your money in any other kind of bank, eh? Why not have it in a volcano? So much cooler. Oh yeah, I've got to open up the menu in this game all the time, don't I? Actually, I really want to see what the speed up looks like when these snails go around. I might just stand out of the way. Okay, actually looks quite neat. Wow. What a pathing design is interesting. That is an interesting pathing selection. Anyway, right, I'll kill you now. Right. I'll put you out of your misery. There you go. So like I said, the the admin design is now officially here, and as you can see, Chip is a moderator, or an admin as I like to call them, but a moderator. So yes, he has now got a little spanner to prove that he is a moderator. So there you go. Say hi to your only moderator besides me. Chip the chat bot. Definitely. He's always been a bot, we know this. Anyway, I guess while we're here, to make it clear, I was actually going to stream Silent Hill 2 Remake for you lot. That was always my plan this month to stream that, but I may have just played the whole game on my own lately and kind of decided it would be best to wait a bit before streaming it, because otherwise I'm just going to run through it super quickly because I'll know it all off by heart, which I kind of do with games. I just tend to remember them all. Anyway, I do want to admit that Silent Hill 2 Remake is a really good game. I enjoyed it. I personally always thought Silent Hill 2 was a good game anyway. I didn't think it was the best Silent Hill, but it was a good game. And yeah, the remake did a really good job. I was impressed by the remake actually. Really impressed. So yeah, it's a solid remake. The other thing that I wanted to do for you, as you might have noticed in the past, which then never happened, is I was going to stream Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, because we all have to name our games in a weird way these days. Anyway, I was going to stream that for you. Unfortunately, we're probably never ever going to stream that game, just to make it clear. If you're wondering why, the reason why is because they put de novo DRM in it, and that already probably rings alarm bells to a lot of people. I mean, it's not awful de novo, it has its moments where it's bad, in particular if a developer does not implement it well. So in some cases, like Hogwarts Legacy, it's actually implemented very well, so as a result it's not much of a problem. In the case of Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, it's implemented terribly. So it makes it actually impossible to stream that game. I literally cannot do it because it is always pissing about with the CPU usage. Like, you just CPU's going all over the place when you play that game, when you have a streaming software open. So as a result, it's just not ever stable. Which is really annoying, by the way, because I really enjoyed Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, and it's something that I genuinely really wanted to stream for you lot because it's really good and worthwhile. But I don't think it's going to be possible. I literally, even for a laugh, put the whole game down to, like, you know, freaking, hang on 1 minute. I put it down to, what was it? It was like, I think 480p, wasn't it, I believe. I put it down to 480p to try and make it run, and it still wouldn't run. It was hilarious. Literally, you can't do anything to make it run. And just to make it clear, I have never had to put a game down to 480p before in my life while streaming for you lot. Never. And even doing that with that game, it still wouldn't run. So yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster for you all, unfortunately. Which is such a shame, because I really did want to do that, and I really honestly think it's a game that you lot probably would have enjoyed. But there's nothing I can do about it. The most I can do, I suppose, is I could go and, you know, do a video series on it, I suppose, but that would be about it. Otherwise, there's nothing else I can really do, I'm afraid. So, yeah, we're going to lose that one when it comes to streaming, but, oh well, there's not much you can do about it. Right. There is one thing I'm going to quickly do. Sorry, I am going to quickly pause this to do this because I need to. Bear with me. I need to get Wallpaper Engine to bugger off. There we go. Right, that should solve that. It's being very annoying with this game. Right. There you go. Okay, right. Oi. Come on. Thank you. You can't call mods spanners. That's rude. I didn't call him such a spanner. I called him an admin, to be fair, but then I called him a moderator. So there you go. But anyway, it's interesting that it gives you a spanner as the picture icon. Don't ask me why. Oh, I think that's the game I was watching Phil stream. Yeah, Phil was streaming Silent Hill 2 Remake yesterday. He was indeed streaming it. Anyhow. Yeah. As you can tell, by the way, Horror Month has gone brilliantly. It's gone so well. So yeah, we've covered total of, what, 0 horror games during Horror Month? Impressive, isn't it? Unless you want to call this a horror game. I suppose you could call it a horror game. It is, I guess, a horror, if you think about it. I should probably also have a look on my phone to see how stable the stream is, because I haven't been looking, I'll be brutally honest with you. But I should do. I'll have a look, hang on. Oh yeah, I need to go and actually get money out of the bank, don't I? That would help. Or else Harry's just going to come into a bank, go through so much work to then get no money. Which, to be fair, would be quite amusing. Anyway, let me have a look on my phone to see how stable the stream is. Like I said, I have pissed about a little bit with settings. Deliberately, I might add. But it would be nice to see. Yeah, it looks really good, actually. Yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. Awesome. Worthwhile having a look either way. Right, anyway, let's carry on. I do need to check some things. While this is a chill stream, I might add, it's more than a chill stream. Ow. Oh, Chip as well. This is for you, and if you're not here, don't worry. I'll just message you it anyway, or just say it again later. If any of the other admins appear, then tell them there's a stream, because they probably don't have a clue. I don't think any of them have a clue. Harry is proper minted. He is minted. Yeah, you're damn right, Chloe. I mean, you've got to give it credit where it's due. It may be in a volcano, but your boy has got some serious cash. And he's good to go. How's it going, Justine? I'm doing alright, thanks. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the world of GBA, i.e. pixels. Welcome to the pixels. Look at those pixels. They're actually pretty impressive, though. You got to bear in mind, like, when this game came out, and the fact that a GBA was quite a, in the nicest possible way, pathetic-looking machine when it came to most games. So, the fact that actually it looks as impressive as it does, it's quite good. The Hagrid pick looks cursed. It is cursed, that's the point. You're meant to be scared of it. Why wouldn't you want to be scared of that incredible design? Right. He could be nice and give some of to the Weasleys. Nah. Why would you do that? That's insanity thinking like that. You gotta make the most of what you have. What would Hagrid's name be in French? Well, my advice would be go and find a French translation of a Harry Potter game and find a Hagrid bit and you'll find out. Or go on Google Translate and type in Hagrid. See what it comes back with. Could be something absolutely terrifying. Yeah, look at that wizard card, man. Proper HD right there. Some serious HDness. Hagrid. It's Hagrid. I will always have fondness for the 8-bit music. The music in this game's great. I mean, the music is the Game Boy Color music in all fairness, but, you know, it's still very good. I like it just as much. And the music is good. Yeah, can't be bothered. Right, let's go. Yes, I know. It's not like we played this so many times in the past. In fact, I believe we played this, if you're not counting a video series and just live streaming, we played this 3 times, I believe, which is quite impressive. Obviously not as impressive as HP2 PC, which I believe I have now streamed, I think a total of 6 times. Something like that. Maybe 7 now? It's probably 7 at this point. I've streamed it a lot. Too much. But yeah, everyone is still excited to see it. Every time I do it, they're like, yeah, it's HP2 PC again. You can always ask Madam Maxine, yeah. I just looked it up, and apparently it's the same. Nice. Make his name, I don't know, translate his name to Chinese or something, there you go. See what it comes back with. I mean, after what I've seen with some of these, you know, Chinese to English translations of things, who knows what it'll come back with. Oh man, Star Wars Backstroke of the West. What a fantastic masterpiece that is. If you've not seen it, by the way, Star Wars Backstroke of the West, I highly recommend you go and watch that on YouTube. Just do it. Just go and search up. Seriously, do go and search up Star Wars Backstroke of the West. I mean, I literally, all I have to do is just say the name and I can already think of half of the stuff it comes back with. It's absolutely hysterical. If you're wondering what Backstroke of the West is, by the way, it's Revenge of the Sith. That's what it is. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith becomes Star Wars Backstroke of the West. I really want someone to do the exact same thing they did with Revenge of the Sith there for Phantom Menace. I really want to see what Phantom Menace would come out like. Especially when you got someone like Jar Jar Binks. He could come up with some pretty incredible results, I reckon. Oh man. Right, is he going to go left? Yes. Come on, thank you. I know there's someone in here. I know you're around here somewhere. Did you hear me, boy? I said we're closed now. Go away. Oh yeah, I remember that. That's when someone dubbed Revenge of the Sith. Yep, it is. And it was incredible. Truly incredible. And I would really like them to do Phantom Menace. They need to do Phantom Menace. It's such a missed opportunity not doing Phantom Menace. I'm sure, to be honest, Attack of the Clones probably would be interesting as well, but in particular Phantom Menace. I mean, you could probably get some great stuff from the other movies though. Who knows what on earth, you know, we'll get from something like Empire Strikes Back. Oh man. And as for the Ewoks, Christ knows what they would be translated with. I don't know if we really want to know what that would come out as. Or Jabba the Hutt. What would Jabba the Hutt's translation be? Especially as he's just a load of gibberish. Jabba the Hutt. Oh, it's oddly satisfying, this. Anyway. Oh, I probably should mention this, actually, because it's kind of important. So, if you're interested in game fixes, then I can tell you now that the Fellowship of the Ring 1.1 fix is now officially made and a thing. It is now officially up on GitHub and ready to go, so you can now officially play both the 1.0 and 1.1 PC ports of Fellowship of the Ring, and you can play it properly with the black screen fix, higher resolutions, window modes, you know, level select on the new game bit, etc. You got the whole lot. So yeah. If you're interested in playing Fellowship of the Ring on PC, you can now play either version of it very happily. And it's great stuff. So yeah, it's all good. And it's great actually, I'm really pleased because, you know, it's been a pain in the arse for, what, like more than that in my case. I started that a long time ago. I think it's been about 4.5 years in my case, maybe even 5. It's been too long. Far too long. That game's been a pain in the arse. So it's nice that it's now built. I'm quite happy about that. I just found a post translated the Phantom Menace into Chinese and back to English. Here are the hilariously mangled subtitles for the first. What? The first gathers ghost the threat. What a translation. The first gathers ghost the threat. Wow. What does Attack of the Clones come out as? That's what I want to know now. What is the trio going to be known as? God almighty. That's incredible stuff. Please tell me somebody also did Phantom Menace there with the actual footage as well. Like they did for Revenge of the Sith. It's got to be done with the footage. You can't not do it with the footage. Oh man. Why do you keep doing that? That's really annoying. Yeah, I guess it's probably to do with Wallpaper Engine. I guess if it keeps doing it, I might just have to close Wallpaper Engine. I think it's being a pain in the arse with the emulator. Either that or the HDMI might be a bit loose actually on the second screen, possibly. I could sort that out. It could well be that actually, because it is semi-broken, that HDMI cable. on the other screen. When I say semi-broken, the actual bit that goes in is bent. And if you're wondering, it's because somebody, not me by the way, somebody tripped over the wire because they weren't looking where they were going and pulled it out and bent the end in a, like, kind of half. But it still works. But yeah, anyway, it's just a bit of a mess. I do need to buy and replace that HDMI cable, to be honest. It's not exactly something I want to keep like that forever. But hey, what can you do? It works, it's good enough for now. And I've been too busy to go online and look up HDMI cables. The second gathers the duplicate offensive. Wow. Attack of the Clones is really, it's really something, isn't it? Brilliant stuff. We definitely need to keep a note of this sort of stuff. I don't think I've ever known that you could jump on this table. That's quite cool. I don't even think you... I never thought you could walk on the tables. Wow. I've just learnt something new about this game after all these years. You can actually walk on the tables. Can you walk on these? No, these actually have collision. Unbelievable. Oh well, anyway. That was fun. Assuming this is accurate, is that legal? I would make it legal. Becomes... Wait, what? Becomes... Is the Lord legal? I want to... I won't say that. It's law. Incredible. Good old Nuke Gunnery. There's too many good translations with this. You can get some amazing outcomes with these sort of things, and it's just not natural, man. It's not natural. I don't even understand how it's possible, but there we are. Ah, man. If you're wondering what that line is, by the way, that Fly has put in, it's from Phantom Menace. It's when Nuke Gunnery, the weird alien guy that wears the red robe, basically says, "My lord, is that legal?" That's the line. I will make it legal. And the Jedi. Right, now we're off to Hogwarts. Let's go! The main part of the game is here. Woo 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 woo. Anyway, the interesting part is I think we just sped run that, considering I stopped briefly in order to go and sort out Wallpaper Engine for a second and so on. We really did speedrun that. We got through Diagon Alley's part super fast. Lord Exterminate. Great. Like it. I do love this song, man. It's such a classic. I mean, all the music in this game is great, but this song in the grounds is just iconic to me. It's such an iconic song. So is the Dungeons theme. I think this song and the Dungeons theme are the best songs in the game. But man, I love this song. It's so good. So iconic. It literally hits me in the feels every time I hear it. And you've got to admire the sprite design of Snape there. Look at that face. You know what? I'm tempted to even make that a new Discord emoji. I think we might need to make that a Discord emoji. Look at Pirates of the Caribbean dead man's chest. Oh no. No. Not Pirates of the Caribbean. There's going to be too many horrifying things with that one. Jesus Christ. Oh god, imagine what they're going to say for things like Kraken. Release the Kraken, what's that going to translate to? That could be something truly horrifying. Oh boy. Also, I love the way that the text boxes in this game have a checkerboard behind them. It's like Wizard Chess that's just managed to enter the actual dialogue boxes. Anyway, it's a cool design choice, by the way. It's a good idea for actually making the stuff more visible. Clever. But still, interesting. Snape is best boy. Well, there you go then. Oh yeah, that reminds me actually. I don't know why Snape specifically reminded me of this, but in case any of you haven't noticed it, there's a new Harry Potter game out. And I'm not talking about Quidditch Champions, I'm talking about the other one. Yes, there is another new Harry Potter game out, which is technically speaking old, but it's new because it's a remaster, so it's a new Harry Potter game. And that's Lego Harry Potter Collection. There's now a Lego HP collection for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and also for PC, specifically Steam, and I guess it might be on Epic Games Store, I don't know, but it's on Steam. Is it worth your while? I actually own it, I might add. I haven't played tons of it yet, but I played some of it. So is it worth your while? I would argue from what I've seen in the case of consoles, probably not. It doesn't seem that incredible on console. I suppose the benefit you're getting on console is true actual 4K resolution for high resolution, and also you get what else do you get? You get, I guess, 60 FPS. I can't remember if that was a thing on the original PS4 in that build. I don't think it was, but anyway, you get that as well. In the case of PC, you get so much more than that. But the big thing with the PC one, of course... Oh, Peeves, yeah, I forgot about you. Yeah, the big thing with the PC one is that it fixes quite a few problems in the case of HP years 1 to 4. That PC port is just very broken now, to be honest, on PC. It crashes a lot. Now, it's not perfect, I might add. It's definitely not perfect. It's got problems still. There are a lot of sound issues from what I've experienced. I have a feeling... Alright then. I have a Oi! I have a feeling it will get patched in time anyway. So, as it stands right now, there are some sound problems, but they're kind of minor and you barely notice them in my opinion. I haven't played years 5 to 7 yet, Lego wise, just the first one, so I don't know what that one's like, but I'm going to assume it'll be fine. But yeah, you get more than that, of course, on the PC port. You get triple buffering even, which is a big deal actually for a Lego game, to be honest. You get higher frame rate, of course. You get... What else do you get? You get actual mouse support, which is kind of incredible. I know that sounds weird to say for a PC port, but it's true. Not a single Lego game in existence from TT and that before this collection has ever had mouse support in it. So yes, you get mouse support inside of this one as well, amongst many other features. Go and have a look. But yeah, the other thing I suppose is that the graphics are now more detailed, so there's more colour to them. This is good and bad from what I've seen so far. Certain areas are definitely improved, I think, from this update with the colour. Other areas, yeah, not so much, but I expect that's the sort of thing you kind of get with Unreal when you start moving Unreal games further up into newer Unreals. You get this sort of stuff. It's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I would argue if you're on PC, it's probably worth your while. If you're on console, not so much. Anyway, there you go. I don't think anyone's done Dead Man's Chest. But I translated the title myself and got Pirate Soft the Caribbean's ad is full of chest. Right. Fair enough. I wonder what At World's End is. What's it going to translate to? Go on, Fly. Type in At World's End. Let's see what that comes out as. I'm curious now. I'm sure it's going to be something horrifying. Oh, while I'm here at this point, obviously I'll mention this at the end of the stream anyway. I should make it clear that despite the fact that I am, yes, back at the moment, as you can tell, I will not be streaming next weekend. So this will be probably the only stream of October. Unless I... Oh my god, that's a bit close, Harry. Unless I stream, you know, during the week or something next week. But otherwise, I won't be streaming next weekend because I'm busy. So, the next streams will be in November. But there is actually an exciting thing to bring up regarding November, as I won't be on my own for those streams in November. I'm actually going to be with somebody else, and when I say with somebody else, I mean there will be someone else here, actually physically here with me, like we had in the past, if you remember and you were around for it. So yes, there is going to be another person here as well for some of those streams. I can't tell you how many streams there are going to be, because to be honest I haven't thought about it, but there will probably be a few, and yeah, it's going to last a bit, so there you go. PS1 games, this is not the PS1 game, this is the GBA one, but yeah, I've covered the PS1 games for HP in the past multiple times. Good games. Pirate Soft and Caribbean at wait, what? Art World's Great. Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting that, I'll be honest. What year was this game released? 2002, same as the other Chamber of Secrets. Anyhow, so yeah, in November there will be more than just myself in the streams. And I will add that you should probably expect more horror related streams to actually appear in November. I know that sounds weird considering we're in October and it's known as Horror Month, but obviously that's kind of failed and we've missed out on that for obvious reasons. So yeah, just expect it instead in November. But yeah, I won't be on my own for it. There will be another... Oh. Yeah, I should have done this, but well. Also, I guess the other thing to note is that we do have Black Ops 6 on the way, so the likelihood of me streaming zombies for that is probably going to be pretty high. So I would expect some Black Ops 6 zombies on the way soon. I don't know exactly when yet, but it'll come, especially as that is coming out on Friday. So, it's not far away yet. Also, this cool little secret over here. Hey, look at that. It's super cool. Yeah, look at that. Interactive art on the walls, and I was actually told about that by somebody in a previous stream. I can't remember who it was, but just someone made me aware of it, and that was cool. Oi! There we go. Born in 2010, so you didn't get the chance, I guess, to experience this when it came out. Yeah. Actually, wait. When did Deathly Hallows come out? Oh god, yeah. Deathly Hallows Part 1 came out in 2010, didn't it? Yeah, Jesus. That was the time period where the series hit an all-time low. Blimey. I think I got that right, haven't I? Because Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out in 2011? I believe that's correct. Must be, because... yeah, no, that's definitely right. Because Half-Blood Prince came out in 2009. So yeah. There you go. Going through all the different time periods when stuff released. Crazy. And it makes me feel even older knowing the fact that this came out in 2002. And it's 2024. That's fine. This was the good old days of gaming, where it was really quite fun. Not to say that all new games are not fun, that's not entirely true, but obviously, you know, if you compare it to a lot of the old stuff, it's questionable. One of the attack of the clones lines. Oh, fly! Yeah, deleted the comment. I was reading it. Camino. I'm not familiar with it. Is it in the Republic? Becomes. Camino. I'm not familiar with it. Is it in Africa? I mean, it's a very different kind of Africa, I'll give it that. It's a very wet version of it. With storms and flying pterodactyl creatures. Which I have to say, I kind of wish were in Star Wars Battlefront. I was rather depressed when those never made it in Star Wars Battlefront. Imagine flying on one of those pterodactyl things and just going absolutely berserk at like all the enemies around the map. It would have been kind of cool, I think. Maybe people born in your era are more familiar with Hogwarts Legacy. Probably, I'm sure. I don't know, I would say that maybe people born in your sort of time periods, I suspect would be familiar, probably anyway, with something like Order of the Phoenix when it comes to, I guess, the older games. I don't know, maybe they're familiar with all of them. I mean, there are lots of new fans actually that have come to, oh bloody hell, hello mate, that have come to really love the older games quite a lot actually. There's loads of them. So yeah, it's nice to see as well, by the way, that there are lots of new fans that have come back to play these older ones and really love them. So there you go, it's encouraging to see. Anyway, yeah, I mean, a lot of the older fans, by the way, that play these older games, like myself, are also very familiar with Hogwarts Legacy. It was a pretty big deal for us older fans, actually, considering we've been through some pretty not so great HP games in the later time period, like the Deathly Hallows games. So yes, Hogwarts Legacy was quite a big deal for us. Did it live up to expectations? I guess yes and no. I still think Hogwarts Legacy is a pretty decent game. Do I think it's, you know, one of the greatest games of all time in the HP series? No. But I still think it's decent. Considering you had to kind of revive a franchise that was in the nicest way possible dead, I think it did a pretty good job. Right, what beans have I missed? That. Oh, get it, thank you. Alright, this way. Right, let's get out of it. Oh no, Fly, can you believe it? John's not here, so he won't get the chance to meme my, well, my poor brain in a minute. As I'm about to go into what I can only describe as the most horrible thing to look at in the world. It is pretty bad, the next area. People that have been in the streams before have seen this will know exactly what I mean. And there it is. Oh god, look at it. Evil. It's just evil. There's no other way of putting it. I would like to know which developer put that in the background and called it a day and went, that's fine. Whoever it was, why would you do this to your player base? What are you doing? Are you deliberately trying to make them fall off their chairs? Well, I guess as this was a handheld, making them fall over while standing up or something. Because it's actually horrendous. Awful. This background is crazy. This background's awful. I was just thinking John isn't here. Yeah, this actually could be the first stream in history which John has not attended. Granted, he probably doesn't even know it's on. Because like I said, I did kind of advertise this very last minute. Not on purpose, by the way. I genuinely didn't truthfully believe I was even going to stream today. It wasn't exactly on my list of, yep, definitely going to happen. But in the end, I was like, yeah, you know what, let's do it. So yes, it was kind of last minute notification, which is not normally how things are done around here. But anyway, it's fine. The only one of my admin team, by the way, that knows that I'm streaming today is Chip. None of the rest of them have a clue. They're probably all like, I don't know, chilling out somewhere right now in a bar or something, having a great time. Unaware of events going on. It needs to spin faster. No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't. I definitely wouldn't want that to spin faster. That's a horrible idea. Is this played on a GBA thingy? Yes, it is. It is indeed. Yoink. Whee. Right. Oh, look at it. It's horrible. So horrible. What kind of background makes you feel dizzy? What kind of background makes me feel dizzy? I don't know really, more just either, I guess it's a combination in some regards, but if it's a super fast spinny background, then absolutely. This is not that fast, the spinny background. But the problem with this one is it's spinning at a certain speed while the game itself plays at a lower frame rate. So it kind of feels off and a bit wacky as a result. So that's why it's annoying. But yeah, I mean, the things that really do my head in and make me not only feel a bit just generally awful and sick-like, but in general just not great, are the ones that involve spinning and flashing lights at the exact same time. If you spin something and you flash like crazy, all these different lights, it's the most horrible thing ever. And whoever designs anything like that, I hate you. That's all I have to say. I hate you. You feel like you're spinning. Well, maybe you are. Have you checked recently? Maybe you are spinning on the floor. Maybe you're on the ceiling right now. Who knows? Could be absolutely anywhere. Anyway, the good news is I'm no longer in the spinny world. I'm back in reality, shall we say. Oh man, at least that's the only spinny thing actually in this game. Which is a good thing. I'm very pleased about that. It's all over. What? Oi! How did that not break? Thank you very much. Oh, well. Anyway, I think from my memory that is actually the only spinny background in this game. I'm trying to think if there's any other time that this game has a spinny background, and to be honest, I can't really think of anything. So, I think that's right. I'm sure Fly could always let you know. Hey Fly! Any other time that this game spins? I should probably know this with the amount of times I've played this game in my life, but here we are. I don't. Oh my god, he gets so close. It's literally what it would be like if he was actually talking. Ah, Lego, nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Thanks, Lego. I'm doing all right. Oh my god. I don't remember Ron ever being that close to Harry whenever he chats, to be fair. And I'm not even intentionally trying to get close. I don't think so, but I can't remember, to be honest. I knew that spinny area was coming up. Yeah, indeed. To be honest, seeing as Chloe hasn't spoken for a little bit, I am assuming that she's currently throwing up on the floor. From the whole spinny reality and struggling to maintain the ability to actually stand up. But yeah, it's not fun. Oh man. Nice. It's amazing how HD the writing is actually. Oh, I suppose anyone that's here, if you read my most, I believe it is anyway, my most recent post that I put on the channel, it was just on the YouTube. I didn't put it in the Discord, mainly because I think I forgot, but I also, yes, I couldn't be bothered. But anyway, I did say that there's a lot of HP related content in the works, and that's true, there is a lot in the works actually. They're bigger related pieces of content, so you're not getting much HP at the moment. As you probably might have noticed, there aren't any real HP videos right now other than that one Philosopher's Stone one that came out recently. But yeah, there's quite a bit of HP video content on the way. It's very much in the works, but it's big. It's not small stuff to make, it's quite lengthy. So just be patient and you'll get it. But anyhow, I guess to give you a little secret on what some of it is, I'm not going to tell you all of it because that would be just spoiling it, wouldn't it? I think what I will reveal is there's a lot of cut content videos on the way, and they are actually videos, most of them this time, rather than shorts. There are going to be shorts still, I might add, but there are more videos. So this is putting together quite a lot of cut specific elements. I'm trying not to reveal what they are yet because I was, you know, it spoiled it. But anyway, it's trying to put them all together in like one massive video, but multiple of them. There you go, that's the best way of defining it. Anyway, yeah, so there's some really cool content in that regard, and I think people are going to be quite interested by that because, to be honest, basically all of this cut content is not public knowledge. So yeah, it's kind of all this sort of stuff that I don't think anyone has a clue about. So it's probably going to shock a few people to see some of the things that are going on in these games that you've never seen before. I think the one that I definitely will bring up is Prisoner of Azkaban for the PS2, Xbox and GameCube. I've got a lot of cut content videos for that one, and let me just put it to you like this. I think it's a great game, I love it, and it's one of the ones that I always like to go back and play. But realistically, we got about just roughly just half of the game actually in the public domain released to us. There's an awful lot of content that was scrapped from that game, and I mean a lot. So yeah, it's quite a lot of cool stuff behind the scenes with that one. I think people are going to be really interested to see what's going to actually pop up for that game. But yeah, anyway, so you got cut content stuff. Then another one is what have I got? So the big one, which is something that's been, I guess, a series that I've always wanted to do for a very long time, many years in fact, and is something that many people keep asking me to do, and that's reviews for video games, proper actual video reviews, and we finally have started doing this. So yes, I have been working actually quite hard on a video game review for one of the HP games. I'm not going to reveal what it is. I'm sure people will probably guess, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Anyhow, there's been a lot of that in the background. Big time work being done on that actually. It's been a massive project to work on. And of course, as it's the first ever one that I've properly ever done, it's something that I'm trying to make sure that I do in the best possible manner. I want it to be done correctly. I want it to be done in a way where any future videos that are like that in the series have a template that I'm happy with going forwards. And to be honest, we're almost there with it. It's nearly fully made. It's pretty much got like the tiny little bits to add in and touch up on it. But there's some really cool stuff in there, and I think people are going to be quite interested to see what that review is like. But like I said, that video will shape up the series of what review videos will be like going forwards. Obviously, you know, other ones will probably change a little bit over time, but yeah, it will give you a general idea of what's going to come your way. But anyway, I'm finally giving you lot something that people keep asking me for. So it's finally going to happen. It's going to have that quiz cut shower scene. Oh, nah, I'm afraid not. There's no such thing, Fly. But yeah, so big review video on the way. And that one's going to be kind of a key one for me, in particular, to see what the reception is like for that, to see what general feedback is like for it. And yeah, well, it'll be key to shaping the future of that series. Yeah, and then of course there are other big videos in the works, such as, again, I'll bring this one up because I'm already happy to say what it is. The Codex page locations as a full guided video for Prisoner of Azkaban for PS2, Xbox, GameCube. Then likewise all the wizard card locations in each game, things like that. There's a lot. There's a lot. You get the idea. Anyway, it's gonna be interesting, I think. The HP fans are certainly getting a good amount of content on the way, that's for sure. Oh, and I guess also I'm alright with saying this because I already asked. There's a Quidditch Champions series that will come out. It is actually made. I just don't know when I'm going to release it yet. But yeah, there's a Quidditch Champions series. That's just for the story bit, by the way, nothing else. I was reluctant to even do it myself, but I asked and people wanted it, so I made it. There's also a Quidditch World Cup series as well. And of course there's now HP4's updated series in the works, because I asked you lot again if you wanted that, and you said yes. So that's in the works. So there you go. There's a few things. But there are other secrets on the way, and an area that I think people, again, have wanted me to cover for a while, and I would say tipped into that area a little bit. Very much tipped into it. It's got more coming for it. I kind of don't want to ruin it, so you'll see. You'll see. Any plans for horror game stream this year? There will be, yeah. I mentioned it earlier. Lego. I mentioned that in Horror Month, this month, we have no horror games or anything. I kind of just decided that as we've missed the whole of October, if I do a stream, I'll just come back with something chill, because just why not? But yeah, it's all coming in November, basically, that sort of stuff. So horror streams will be in November. I also mentioned that it's not just going to be me present for it, but rather there will actually be another person here present for stuff in November. Nice, I got a wizard card, look at me go. I went to get a drink. It gave me a headache. Are you sure you didn't throw up? Are you sure, Chloe? Oh yeah, common room. Oh yeah, we got the dungeon bit, haven't we? With Filch coming up. Are there a lot of secret paths in this game? I don't know if I really define them as secret paths. Not really. I can't say they're secret paths, they're more just, I guess, open / small parts of the world with just random sort of secrets placed around it. There are some entire secret I might add, parts on the grand staircase, so yeah, there's some secret stuff. But again, I wouldn't call it really secret, because it kind of isn't. It's more in your face. But then again, it's a GBA game. I wasn't really expecting lots of secret paths. It's nothing like, you know, the early PC games or PS2 stuff, if that's what you were thinking. Nothing like that. But it's a hell of a lot better than what we define as secrets in something like the Deathly Hallows, which is just a linear level with a little tiny secret briefcase sitting around or something. So yeah, it's better than that. Yes. Which version is this? GBA. It's the GBA. I feel like the PS2 and PC ones are like accurate to movie. Oh, well. I mean, they're based off of the film and the books. They're a mixture of both, with also general game developers' ideas thrown in as well. So, they're accurate to both in some ways, but yeah. The PC version is the one I would call more accurate to the book. But yeah, it is obviously picking up bits of the film as well. If you want games that are really accurate to just the book on their own, it's the Game Boy Color games in particular for Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. They're very much focused on the books. Likewise, also Prisoner of Azkaban for the Game Boy Advance is heavily focused on the book as well. So, you've got your mixtures. But, yeah, that's kind of because those are all made by the same studio, of course. What were they called? Grit Tonight, I think? I can't remember if that's right or not. But anyway, they made, you know, the Game Boy Color and GBA, in the case of Prisoner of Azkaban, versions, which are very book-based. But you also have to bear in mind it makes more sense at the time period to be making these games based more off of the movies, considering the movies were the thing at the time, you know. So it makes sense that they're going to be more based off of the film than they are off the games. Although I would argue that when we get to, like, I don't really want to include Goblet of Fire because it wasn't a very good example of being based off the film, to be honest. I'll say HP5 onwards, that seems fair. They really just went full on movie, which is fine, but I think it kind of let those games down a bit. Order of the Phoenix still did alright, but yeah, it did let them down. Right, switch back to Fapendo. GBA Grievous Mafia. The first game is a little bit different from the movie on GameCube. Yeah, the first game on PS2, Xbox and GameCube is quite a different sort of game. It's an odd one, that one. It is an odd one, to be honest. Considering Chamber of Secrets PS2, interestingly enough, and this is cut content kind of, if you like, if you were to look inside the files of that game, which you can do by the way, you'll find that there are lots of Philosopher's Stone related bits inside of it. So you've got Voldemort when he's like a floaty ghost creature inside the Forbidden Forest, fully modelled and everything in that game. amongst other bits as well in there. But yeah, basically that game, Chamber of Secrets PS2, was originally going to be Philosopher's Stone for the PS2, but then at the time Chamber of Secrets was just around the corner, so it made more sense to put all the time into making Chamber of Secrets instead. And then basically we ended up getting Philosopher's Stone from another studio who was smaller, and they did Philosopher's Stone based off of Chamber of Secrets, this stuff that they took across. And that came out later on for the PS2, Xbox and GameCube, so that there was a more up-to-date port of it. But yeah, it's an interesting background, that one. It definitely has some interesting side stuff to it, Chamber of Secrets PS2. It's a game full of secrets, which is ironic considering the game is called Chamber of Secrets. But yeah, oh wait, no, I need to see friend George now. Hang on. Go back. HP6 game. The HP6 is an odd game. To be fair, I say this and I will always say this, and you can disagree if you like all you like, but to be honest, I would disagree with you anyway. But anyhow, HP6 is the one single game in the series that I argue is the hardest to make into a decent game. Mainly because nothing happens in HP6 for the most part that's game-worthy material. And as a result, it's gonna make for a pretty boring game if you just made it identical to what HP6 has. I mean, look at the film. Even the film, in my opinion, is pretty boring. But HP6 is kind of designed like that, you know? It's one of those things that really develops the story. I did in the past used to call it a filler sort of thing. To an extent, HP6 kind of is a filler. But it's a filler in a way where it's more developing the story that's crucial for the Deathly Hallows to really sort of thrive and become something incredible. So it's sort of a break point in between Order of the Phoenix and the Deathly Hallows to really fill in the missing gaps and get the void, if you like, all sorted out. It's one of those things. But either way, yeah. It's a game that I sympathised with HP6, with the fact that it would have been a nightmare to create. But I also make the argument to EA that if they wanted to make it actually something impressive in the end, they should have let the developers ideally do their own thing in it. Which they didn't at that time period. It was very much, it has to be pretty much identical to the film. And as a result, they just ended up copying and pasting the same bloody mini-games 24/7, which is unfortunate, because it gets boring quickly. But there you are. It's one of those games that definitely required that sort of stuff, though. Oh well. Either way, I don't hate HP6, by the way, the game. I don't hate it, but I certainly don't love it. As for HP5, I think HP5 is also hard for the PC version. Right. Sorry, I'm just reading my name getting translated. Interesting. I think HP5 is also hard for the PC version. If you're talking about the motion controls and stuff, then actually it was not the most awful thing in the world, all things considered. Speaking of the PC version, and the fact that you brought up hard, for years that's been unplayable on hard, that game all the way through. No more! It is fixed! We fixed it. We fixed it so you can now play it on hard. Oh man. Good old HP5. I like HP5, by the way, the game. I think it's a good game. There are people out there that would have you think that HP5 is the worst creation in existence and it's an awful game. I disagree. I thoroughly disagree. I like HP5. I love it. It's good. It's obviously not perfect, and I will confess that people are right that its story feels a bit meh. But I could say identically the same thing when it comes to HP6, to be honest. But for me, I think HP5 is better than 6 for the simple fact that the secret aspects, excluding Moni Myrtle just being a pain in the arse 24/7, is much more interesting. The secrets feel unique each time when you find them. I like that. I thought that was a really, really great addition to that game, and it made me give more of a crap about finding them and actually wanting to explore a lot more. Whereas in HP6, all the secrets are just crests, and there's no uniqueness to it whatsoever, and as a result it's really quite boring. And while people do make the argument that it's much bigger, the castle in HP6, and that's great, and don't get me wrong, I think the new areas they created look pretty good. The problem with it is, well, that's great and all, it's just not that unique. Because at the end of the day, the bit that made the exploring unique in HP5 was the secrets. So the secrets not being unique and really boring inside of HP6 is not really great. But there we are. I thought you pulled this. Really? I thought you pulled that. Oh god, hello. Will you bugger off, mate? I could have sworn that's what you're supposed to pull. Am I thinking of that too early? Huh. Maybe not. I'm sure that's what you pull. No? Right, where's the hiding spot? There it is. Let's get in. Hide. Right. Because I downloaded it for PC, there is like lag and glitch. Yep. That's because you didn't use the fix that me and my team created for it. Yeah, if you want a background into that, HP5 on PC has been broken for years. And it's broken because the frame rate design inside of the game is out of date and no longer is correct and working properly inside of modern Windows, because Windows has changed the way that it does, in the easiest way for you to understand anyway, get frame times. Basically, as a result, HP5 is completely out of whack with modern day Windows, so you are going to get a stuttery, horrible, disastrous mess. And it's also broken in various other ways, such as pathing things on hard and so on. What we did is we went into the game and sorted that out. So basically we've gone and updated the frame rate design so it's now updated to a modern style, meaning that it now is actually what it should be, which is smooth as hell, and actually works correctly. You could also change the frame rate to whatever you want now, so you can put it up to, well, you know, 1,000 frames if you want. I wouldn't recommend that, by the way, but you can. But yeah, you can customize it how you like, so you can play at 60, 120, doesn't matter, and it will be fine. Likewise, you can change your field of view in the game now, because we've allowed you to do that. What else can you do off the top of my head? You can put it in window mode if you wanted to do that. There's a lot of things you can do. Basically, my recommendation is whenever you want to play a HP game from HP 4 to 8, use the fix videos that I've created on my channel that explain how you can go and get the fixes for these games and then put them into your game area where you play the game and use the settings you need for them, so that way you can actually play them properly in a good way going forwards. Because let me tell you now, if you're trying to play these older HP games by default on Windows, don't bother. Because they play like crap, they look like crap, they're basically just not worth it. You need updated fixes for a lot of these games now, and in particular the later games where you're locked at 30 frames and things, you desperately need it. So yeah, seriously, I'm being honest here, if you're going to play things like HP5 or HP6, HP7, 8, whatever it is, go and use the fixes. We got the fixes up on a GitHub, so you can go and get them from there. Like I said, all you have to do is just download the fixes, put the files inside of the game install area, open up an INI file to set your settings, and then boom, you're all good to go. really that simple. But I cannot recommend it enough. And I could also not tell you the amount of hours and time and pain it has taken to create some of those fixes. In particular, HP5's frame rate was an absolute nightmare to sort out, and in the case of HP8, was an absolute shit show to fix. HP8 was probably the worst game, actually, I think, in the series to fix. What a nightmare. Truly, what a nightmare. Although HP4 was pretty bloody awful. That is just a really poorly made game. You can't tell me otherwise. The amount of time that myself and Chip, who's one of my team members by the way, sat looking through HP4 code just going, what is this? It's staggering. It's really poorly coded. Really badly actually. But there we are. I think there should be fixes for Harry Potter Connect. What, on the Xbox? Why would you want us to fix that? Also, we're not going to fix that, just to make it very clear. We're here to fix PC products, not Xbox products. But why would you want Harry Potter Connect fixed out of curiosity? Other than making the sensor work, which, by the way, you might as well just ask Microsoft to buy a bundle worth of Kinects and rebuild them from the ground up. It would be more useful. But they're not going to do that because they no longer care about the Kinect. For the people that don't have cameras to play it. Oh, right, yeah. Well, just go and buy an Xbox 360 Kinect for super cheap from somewhere. There you go, that's my recommendation for you. Also, I'm going to be honest, you are not missing out when it comes to playing Harry Potter Connect. I have played that game, and I didn't really have any desire to play it after I played it once. What? Oi. That's for me to play on PC. Don't play it on PC, there you go. There's the solution. Yeah, to be fair, I'll be amazed actually if it even emulates that well through the emulator on the Xbox 360. What, Xenia, isn't it, on PC? I haven't looked at Xenia much. I focused more on PCSX2 and like some of the other ones, but yeah, I haven't looked at Xenia much yet because it was very much still a heavy work in progress when I last looked at it about like 2 years ago. But to be fair, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point they end up putting in, because they did it on PCSX2, for example, with iToy now. You can just use, like, my camera here, the Elgato one, you can just use that now to play the iToy stuff on PCSX2. So I assume that Xenia will probably do the same thing with, you know, Kinect games in some shape or form. Depends how, I guess, the Kinect games are hardware made, etc. Completely depends on that. Obviously, I'm not an expert at looking at Xenia, so I can't really say what the answer is for that, but still. It's up to the devs really of that to really put some effort into looking into it at the end of the day. But I will add, you are not missing out not playing Harry Potter Connect. You're certainly not missing out. People here on the channel have wanted me to stream Harry Potter Connect for ages, and I keep looking at it and going, is it worth it? Do I really care? The answer is pretty much no, but there we are. When I still tried to play Harry Potter first game on PC, download, my mouse wouldn't work. Your mouse wouldn't work? What, on HP1 PC? That's a pretty shocking one. I don't think I've ever heard of somebody's mouse not working before on that game, to be fair. But there are fixes for that. There's quite a lot of fixes out there. In fact, I did a massive video years ago about that. I'll probably do updated videos for like fixing up HP1 and 2 on PC at some point. There's no real point doing that just yet though. You'd be better off waiting for the updated engine that's in development from the modding community to really look into those in more depth. So yeah, I mean, in the case of HP1 PC, it is pretty much on its last legs. I hate to be a bit of a downer for that one, but it is. It's a pretty poorly built game at the end of the day. It's better than some, but, you know, it's not doing well. The fact that it works at all for some things is actually kind of a miracle. I think realistically, you know, you just gotta wait for this updated engine for HP1, and then at the end of the day, HP1 will be perfectly fine going forwards. As it stands for HP2 right now, yeah, you know, you can play on the updated engine from the HP modding community, which honestly fixes it up perfectly, and there's no reason to use the base one anymore. Unless you're a speedrunner, because speedrunners are not allowed to use the updated engine because it's not finished yet. But, yeah, honestly, there's no reason to play the base version of HP2 PC anymore. Just use the updated one. And it will be the same for HP1 when that happens. HP3 as it stands on PC needs a couple of fixes, which are done, but that's about it. Because my computer is Windows 11. There are people that have Windows 11 PCs and play HP1 perfectly fine. It's not specifically Windows 11 that's breaking HP1, I hate to tell you all this. I know a lot of people seem to instantly think that Windows 11 is the ultimate cause of everything. Just to make it clear, Windows 11 is not perfect by any means. There's a reason I'm still on 10. But, you know, it's not the sole cause for everything breaking. All game-wise, it's actually the hardware you use that's usually the culprit. If you're on a laptop in particular as well, I mean, you're asking for problems. That's been an issue for years though. That's been an issue with Windows 10, let alone 11. That's just to be expected. I purchased HP2 disc copy and could play it on Windows after watching the tutorial. Yeah. You can play HP2 PC quite happily still. The updated engine just really improves it overall so that you have proper high quality resolution support now, proper frame rate support, proper mod support and things as well. That's the major difference. But yeah, you could, if you wanted to, play the base version of HP2 PC. If you just put a no CD crack on it after installing it. Fine. But in general, I still would recommend you use the updated engine now, really. Yeah, HP1 is a bit of a mess. There's no nice way of putting it. It is a mess. I think the major problem, though, obviously you'd have to look at it in a lot of depth, and to be honest, I've never really been asked to do so because I know that there's an updated engine in development, so there's no reason to really put a lot of effort in. But I suspect one of the major reasons for people having trouble is probably going to be the Galaxy driver. So in case you don't know, the first HP game on PC uses something called Galaxy, which is a really, in the best way of putting it anyway, shit sound driver that just barely runs on modern Windows. If you've ever played a game like Deus Ex, the original, then that uses Galaxy and it's an absolute mess. So yeah, I mean, anything that uses that is already a bad start. But I mean, there are other reasons as well. AMD as well, I might add, is a particular one that has a lot of trouble with lots of older games. In particular, I seem to find that their processors, from experience from other people, have always had a lot of trouble with older games. Granted that they are starting to sort that out, which is good. Because people have started reporting that these are a problem to them, and then AMD is acknowledging that and sorting it out, which is great. I actually think that's really awesome that AMD listens to people when, you know, they complain about something and fixes it. A great example of that is Knights of the Old Republic 1. So Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1, for, I think this was a problem for at least 6 or 7 years. It basically, if you play with AMD, it just either crashed all the time or it displayed a load of rainbow textures all over the screen. It was basically unplayable on AMD machines. It was a problem for a long time. And eventually somebody, I don't know who it was by the way, whoever it was is a legend, but yeah, somebody complained to AMD about the problem and basically gave them an error report of what was going on, and then AMD actually took that and made an update to their graphics driver. So if you installed that latest update with the driver, then as a result, sorted. And now people that have AMD machines can play KOTOR 1 properly again. So AMD do listen, which is a lot better than, well, Nvidia when it comes to listening. Nvidia doesn't really listen, but I would also argue that Nvidia doesn't really have many problems, or at least from all the experiences I've looked at and seen, and from various other people over the years. Never seems to be much of an issue. Various issues, but not a lot. Windows 11, I was telling Phil about this yesterday. He didn't know that Windows 10... Yeah, Windows 10 is going on, I think the 25th, I think they said, of October. Now, what you can do, I might add, which has not been explained to people properly, and that's on Microsoft for being silly about not explaining this. You can, if you are still wanting to stay on Windows 10, granted I don't recommend this, you can pay Microsoft a chunk of money, they haven't specified what yet, and keep it. So that way you can basically keep updates for security and stuff on your Windows 10 machine. But I don't know how much that's going to cost, to be honest. And I don't know how long they're going to support that for. They haven't specified, so... Yeah, it's a thing, so you can do it. I think only businesses are really going to bother with that, though. What? How is that not in the fricking ring? Anyway, yeah, so there you go. Can you just catch this stupid butterfly? Thank you. I think the problem that we're going to have with Windows 11, and it's a problem for me by the way, this is obviously some people's machines don't support Windows 11. And the main culprit for this is usually the motherboard. Because the motherboard that you have doesn't have a particular bit on it that is basically compulsory in Windows 11 now. It's a part of Windows 11 security design basically. And if you don't have that, then they won't let you upgrade to Windows 11. My motherboard, annoyingly, on this PC is just 1 year out of date. 1 fucking year. Thanks Microsoft, by the way. Yeah, so it's 1 year out of date for Windows 11. So, at some point when I can be bothered to invest the money, which will be next year anyway, I will have to, you know, buy another motherboard and rebuild the PC again, which I'm thoroughly looking forward to, by the way. Especially as this is a water-cooled PC, so I have to not only take out all the water cooling, I then have to take off all the piping and then all the graphics card and stuff in order to get the motherboard out, put a new motherboard in, put all the stuff back in, and then redo all the piping work as well, I might add, on the thing. Because of course the motherboard will have a different layout for the piping work, for the water cooling, and then put all the water back in again, and it's a bit shit really having to do that. So yeah, I really appreciate Microsoft for doing that. Thoroughly. But there we are, there's not much you can do about it. I heard there's one version of Windows 10 that won't be end of life till 2032. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I very much doubt that will be the case, to be fair. I know that there's the thing about security updates that Microsoft are going to do, but that's all. Anyway. Oh yeah, I have the second one of Knights of the Old Republic. The game failed to download. Failed to download? What have you got it on? On Steam? Shouldn't have any reason to have it fail downloading anyway. KOTOR 2, by the way, is a fantastic game and easily one of the greatest Star Wars games of all time. It's definitely one of the greatest Star Wars stories of all time. Freaking fantastic story, actually. But yeah, KOTOR 2 is a great game and I highly recommend that everyone plays it. If you don't play it, you are doing yourself a disjustice, really, when it comes to Star Wars stories. Fantastic game. Freaking awesome game. I played it too many times in my life and I still keep playing it. I will always keep playing that game, I think. KOTOR 1's a great game and all, and don't get me wrong, I love KOTOR 1, but 2 is vastly superior. Vastly. Oh, you have the DVDs? Yeah, that'll be why you have trouble. The reason for it is because the disc version of KOTOR 2 now, you won't be able to easily do anything with it anymore. It uses an out-of-date version of Secure ROM, which you can't actually play properly anymore. You need, if you are going to play that version, you need to get a no CD crack for it, but there's no point. In my opinion, you should buy the Steam version of KOTOR 2 now, for the simple reason that it actually got updated, the Steam version, and it's fixed a lot of serious bugs and problems with KOTOR 2. It's also added in proper resolution support for like 4K, etc. You could also get the restore content mod, which basically restores a lot of the cut content that was compulsory to still see, thanks to rush development. You can blame LucasArts for that, by the way. Yeah, anyway, you can get that off the Steam Workshop. Super simple to get it. And you've also got controller support, ironically enough. I play with mouse and keyboard, but you know, you've got controller support. There's a lot of things for it now. You're better off playing KOTOR 2, to be honest, on Steam. It's the best place to play it now. It also is DRM-free, actually, on Steam, believe it or not. But there you go. So yeah, I do recommend if you're going to play it on Steam. Right, I heard someone say it, and I asked ChatGPT. You should ask ChatGPT in order to figure out if Windows 10 is going to stay alive. It's an AI. It can have all manner of random shit thrown in it, mate. It's not going to give you the definite defining result. You want to know the real result? Hear it from the horse's mouth, i.e. the good old Microsoft. The legends themselves. If that's what we're calling them these days. But anyway, regarding the end of life information, yes, it's true that Windows 10 Enterprise, yeah, alright, the business one, sure, the business one will probably stay alive, but it will also be super limited, by the way. If you were going to use that, you're going to have limitations. I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend just going to 11. You may not want to, but just do it. You're better off doing it. But you can at least wait until next year in October. I mean, all these people right now I've seen online fretting about losing Windows 10 right now. Chill out. It's not till October the 25th next year. You've got a long while yet. You've got a fair amount of time. It's only October, what even is the date? October the 19th of the year of this year, previous year to when it's going to die. You've got plenty of time. I have both Steam version of the first game and the second. Yeah, awesome. Play them on Steam. I did do a fix video for KOTOR 1 because it still pisses me off to this day, actually. Disney didn't let Aspire properly fix KOTOR 1 on Steam, only KOTOR 2, which it still annoys me and is still really dumb that they did that. And I will still keep arguing that they should go back and sort out KOTOR 1 on Steam. It's kind of criminal they haven't, but here we are. Maybe at some point we'll get it. To be fair, Aspyr are now doing an awful lot with Star Wars ports, so who knows? Maybe they will finally get the chance to do it. But yeah, when it comes down to it, KOTOR 1, I did a fix video for that on how to improve it properly. You kind of need to do that stuff or else it's going to run pretty poorly. But yeah, KOTOR 2 is not like that. Are they the ones who made Knights of the Old Republic? What, you mean Aspyr? They didn't make it. They've just been in charge of porting it for years now on various platforms. And also they're the ones that have fixed KOTOR 2 on Steam to actually work properly. No, so KOTOR 1 was made by BioWare, who, you know, at the time made it but have no rights to do anything with KOTOR 1 anymore. So that's why Aspyr does it now. And in the case of KOTOR 2, that was Obsidian Entertainment, who again have no rights to do anything with it anymore. It's Aspyr. Basically, the two original developers of the games have no rights to do anything with those games anymore, unfortunately. Even though it would be quite nice to get Obsidian to do stuff with KOTOR, because I honestly think they would be the right people for it. You know, it's just how it goes. But I will say that Aspyr are at least a company that can help us with KOTOR and various other old Star Wars games. I think they've made their errors, sure. I mean, the Battlefront Classic Collection was a fucking disaster. But besides that, they've done a pretty reasonable job so far. I would argue that they haven't done that badly. I mean, the Star Wars Bounty Hunter remaster that came out recently and for the first time ever got ported to things like the PC and Xbox and the Switch, I think, have actually been solid. You know, Star Wars Bounty Hunters Remaster has been fantastic, really good, really good. You know, works well, did well, good stuff. And they've also got Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, which I haven't played in so many years and is actually 25 years old, which was a bit weird to see. That's coming in January as a remaster, which is kind of exciting actually. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, they do a lot. The one that is free on Steam. Oh, you mean Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO? Yeah, that's by BioWare. BioWare, technically speaking, sort of still owns that. I mean, they're no longer in charge of developing it. There's some other spin-off studio, I can't remember who it is, who's in charge of dealing with that one now. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, the Old Republic is the MMO. Knights of the Old Republic are the two proper games. And yes, I'm calling them proper games because I don't really consider an MMO a proper game in the case of this Star Wars stuff. Mainly because it kind of ruined the KOTOR game stories. And it's kind of an insult to every KOTOR fan around the whole planet. But, not to say it's a terrible game for gameplay, because to be fair, I did play it a little bit. It was alright to play with friends. Story-wise, not so impressed. Luckily, it's not canon, so that's all good. It's the nice saving grace about that one. What about Linux? I mean, to be honest, you could go to Linux if you really want. I personally wouldn't recommend it. You'll still be quite limited by things you can do there. Also, I think people underestimate how complex Linux is. Some people seem to think it's going to be really simple to just jump from Windows straight to Linux. It's not. If you're a coding person, that's sure, it's pretty piss easy to jump across. If you're just a regular user, no. But also, like I said, Linux is not perfect for everything, because it's not. If you're a modern gamer as well, in particular, say you want to play something like modern Call of Duty, you can't. You couldn't play, for example, right now, Black Ops Cold War, or I don't know, Modern Warfare 3, or Black Ops 6 that's on the way. You couldn't play that because of the anti-cheat, and it won't work with Linux. Likewise, you can't play other games out there like, I don't know, Rainbow Six Siege. I'm just thinking of things off the top of my head. Basically anything that has an anti-cheat, you won't be able to play it. But also there are a lot of older games that have trouble on Linux and don't work well. Then there are other games as well that have specific DRMs put into them that won't work on Linux. So, for example, thanks to Capcom, and again Capcom are silly for doing this, but here we are. Thanks to Capcom putting in DRMs like De Novo, can't play it on Linux. Also in the case of like Resident Evil 5 as an example here with that Russian DRM, the Enigma project or whatever it's called, which is silly. They put that into Resident Evil 5, by the way, very silly. Should never have done that. And just to let you know, if you didn't know, when you're playing Resident Evil 5 on PC through Steam now, you're playing with a Russian DRM on your PC at all times. So, hope you enjoy that. I would recommend you stop playing Resident Evil 5 on your PC. But anyway, yes, the point is, if there's a DRM in it, you can't play on Linux. Because Linux doesn't accept DRMs. So, you are limited. Quite badly. I'm afraid Linux is not as special as you might think. Don't get me wrong, it's a cool thing, and it's definitely a great area if you want to be a programmer. It definitely is. But outside of that, not so much. And at the end of the day, if you really want to play most of the stuff through Linux, like games, a lot of them, you're going to be playing on a virtual machine through Linux anyway, which at the end of the day is a waste of time because most virtual machines don't actually run that well. And in particular for modern games, run like shit. So, realistically, you might as well just stick with Windows. Truthfully, that's just the way it is. But there we are. Anyway, at the end of the day, you make the decision. It's your choice. I'm not going to make it for you, of course. I'm just giving you the facts. In the MMO, we get to see Darth Revan older. Indeed. What Steam games can work on Linux? There are a few. You can filter games on Steam for specifically Linux support. And obviously anything that's compatible on the Steam Deck is usually compatible with Linux, because of course the Steam Deck is Proton, which is basically a builder Linux. But, you know, it's not everything, and there's an awful lot that isn't. In fact, there's a huge, vast selection of gaming libraries that don't work on Linux. Far too many, for my concern. It is a GBA port, Mr. Doom. Indeed, it is a GBA port. Also, nice to see you again, Doom. It's been a while. How you doing? How are you doing? I haven't seen you in probably about 2-3 months. I can't remember. It's been a while. Anyway, we've managed to get one other moderator in the stream today because all the moderators had no idea I was streaming today other than Chip. Congratulations on making it into the stream, by the way, Doom. All the other moderators aren't here. John's not here. I don't know where John is. He could be having a pint for all I know. Anyway. Yes. There you go. Steam Deck is a huge headache for me. Well, there you go. There's the answer right there for you. And I will admit, he is actually a great example of the Steam Deck, Doom. Because Doom is a part of my fix team for testing all of our fixes and things with games on the Steam Deck. As well as really high aspect ratios, but in particular the Steam Deck. He's the one that tests all of that. Because neither myself or Chip have Steam Decks because we have no reason to have them as we never go anywhere in particular for really making good use of them. But anyway, yeah, he's the one to ask about it. And I know that he has a good time with it. I know that he always comes back and says, yeah, I love my Steam Deck. It's always perfect. I think in the Star Wars universe of movies we will see the Old Republic. We'll probably see it, but I think it will be redesigned completely in its own new fashion, if you talk about the MMO. What we'll probably definitely see before we see the Old Republic is Knights of the Old Republic area. I think that's 100% guaranteed. Especially now that we got this Knights of the Old Republic remake on the way. So yeah, I think that's coming. I just pray that we got a good writer for them. Oh. I really hope we got a good writer for the Knights of the Old Republic stuff if they're gonna do it. I really don't want a bad writer. I don't want a really good series actually destroyed and tarnished. It doesn't deserve it. It deserves to stay incredible forever. I want it to stay incredible forever. But we'll see. We'll see. Rogue Alley. It is Alley, isn't it? Or is it Ally? I don't know how they actually pronounce that, but anyway. We'll call it Rogue Alley, why not? I know what it is, by the way. It is going to be the main thing for me. I sold my Steam Deck as I washed my hands with it. He actually sold the Steam Deck. Oh ho ho! My God, the main tester for Steam Deck stuff is now gone. That's the end of it. There's no more Steam Deck, man. That is actually news to me, by the way. Today, I did not know that our tester for Steam Deck has actually sold his Steam Deck. It's gone. Oh well. There you go. I guess that's the end of us ever bothering to check Steam Deck fixing for you lot. To be honest, we, at the end of the day, make our fixes for these games, the PC games, for PCs. That's what they're meant for. They're meant specifically for a PC. We don't put effort and care into looking at all the other stuff. If people want to piss about and experiment with it, they're more than welcome to. I'm not against anyone that wants to try out our fixes and stuff on these games on a Steam Deck and that. Of course, feel free. But if you expect the actual people who make the fixes to go and test that for you, you shouldn't. It's already enough work as it is to make them work on the actual PC. Don't expect us to go through all the other stuff. We put enough time as it is into making the fixes, let alone doing all the testing. It's really kind of up to other people. But I also have faith that other people will do that effort and put in some time to check it. But there we are. What? Oi! My spell. There we go. People stick with Windows as much as I hate them on Windows. Please save yourself a bloody headache. I was just talking about Windows Doom actually. In fact, Fly was having a good conversation with me about Windows. I'm sure Fly is still here, by the way. Yeah, I basically spelled it out perfectly. You know, we might not love Windows 11. I certainly don't love Windows 11. I've had the pleasure, if you want to call it that, of using Windows 11 in various places and not exactly loving it. It's not the awful thing beyond belief, but you know, it could be better, and I'm sure it will be over time. But you know, at the end of the day, you're better off sticking with Windows, truthfully. If you're a gamer, just stay on Windows. It's worth your while. You'll obviously get these die-hardcore Linux fans that will tell you otherwise and so on, and that's fair enough to them. And to make it clear, I'm not a die-hardcore Windows fan, not even in the slightest. I'm certainly not going to say that Windows 10 and 11 are perfect, because they're not. They certainly have their issues, but you know, realistically, you also have to look at the fact that a lot of these Linux people that are die-hardcore fans of it are experts in the field. They know what they're doing. Whereas most people, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm trying to be as nice as I can about this, are not very intelligent when it comes to using hardware and things when it comes to a PC. It's just the truth. Some people are absolute experts, and hey, nice one if you are, I'm glad you are. But most people just pick up a PC, use basic stuff on it, or play games on it by just simply installing a game and running it, and that's that. It's just the way it is. That's how the general public is. So honestly, all these people that claim, yeah, if you go and jump from Windows 11 to Linux, you'll be fine. I guarantee if you put the average Joe or whatever onto Linux after being on Windows 10 or 11, they won't have a clue what they're doing. And they'll be struggling like hell. Because they will. I want to play Star Wars The Old Republic on Steam Deck if it's available. I don't know if they support that on Steam Deck. Probably not, as it's got anti-cheat in it. Basically, like I said, anything that has an anti-cheat in it won't work on the Steam Deck due to it, of course, having, you know, Linux. Although, I guess if you can emulate Windows on the Steam Deck properly, then you might be able to play it. I don't know, you'd have to look it up. It probably won't be too simple. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I wasn't paying attention. What am I supposed to be doing? Tasks. What am I doing? Stealth through the library restricted. And find a I've already done that. Wait, what? I've done that. I just did it. Right. Oh no, it's the other library. Yeah, I forgot. It's the one with Peeves in it. I know what it means. Yeah. Hang on, this one. Done with Linux. Now that's what we like to hear. A man saying he's done with Linux. Oh, Harry jumping in a cutscene there. Hey, Doom. You should tell Chip this. Chip, I know you're here. Chip, appear. Moderator, appear. I know you can appear. Did you hear what Doom has said? I know people can emulate Pokey MMO on there. Nice. They're probably emulating it through Windows part then that they've basically managed to put on the Steam Deck. But yeah, it won't be through the normal part of the Steam Deck, it'll be another side of it, which won't be particularly fun to have to play around with unless you know what you're doing. Oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't even notice he was there. I was too busy reading the chat. Right, what have we got? Blah, blah, blah. I am going to use lovely sweet tone with Chip, just so he knows I am done with it. By the way, swearing will be directed at Linux. I'm not too shocked, to be honest. Doom, I'm not too shocked. You know, at the end of the day, Doom, I mean, just stay with Windows. Enjoy your life on Windows. It's a nice place, I promise. It may have its faults, and I don't disagree, by the way, that it has its faults, but it's a nice place. Oh, by the way, Doom, did you see that Fellowship has now got a new updated fix? It's in our server, you know, the fix enhancer server that you're in. We've got a 1.1 version now made for it. If you want to try it out on PC, then please feel free to do so. We'd love to have any feedback regarding that from you. So, yeah, if you want to try out Fellowship's 1.1 fix, feel free. But this now means that there is a fix for not only 1.0 but 1.1. So all versions of Fellowship now have a fix on PC, which is really awesome actually. So yeah, do give it a try. Peeves. It's Peeves. I love Peeves. He's great. Damn you. Oh, I actually died. I wasn't paying attention. I was having too much fun just spamming my spells at Peeves. Oh man. Right. That could be the first time I've ever actually died on this game while streaming it. Come on. There we go. Oh well, we get to spend more time with Peeves. What is there not to love about that? does that not hit you? There we go. Come on. Oh, that killed him. I'm actually surprised. Anyway, there we go. We got Peeves and we got Scourge. Right. At the end of the day, I given it a go, given it a good try, and it doesn't work out for me. Yeah, that's the way of looking at it as far as I'm concerned. Fair play to you, my man. Fair play to you. You do what is right for you at the end of the day. That's what I always like to say. So you should. Oh great, I'll give it a go. You should definitely give it a go and let us know how you get on. Everything you need, by the way, for the 1.1 patch is in our server. It's just sitting there if you want to just grab it all in one go instead. I think Chip put everything in there. There might be one thing that you need to go to the web for, but I think it's all inside the server. I know that Lego Harry Potter games on DS are different from the movies with the spells. I haven't actually played the DS Lego Harry Potter games, so I don't know what they're like, to be fair. Did you see the interview with Rick Mail? The reason why his Peeves didn't appear is that every time Rick appeared, the kids were laughing at him. I did know about that. I never saw the interview, but I did know about the fact that they were always laughing whenever he did stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's a shame though. I mean, they could have just edited out the kids' laughs. It's fine, just give them really blank stares. Just get some mannequins in the place instead. That'll do the job. Put a mannequin in. Yeah. Alright. I can make it. Oh, I made it. Right. What did you do? You did everything, Chip. You always do everything. Anyway, Chip, can you guess who's in the chat right now? Doom. Doom is here. He's not got the, moderator privilege that you've currently got because, of course, you're the person who's the test for it. But he will get it because he is a moderator. I will do that. I'll do it after the stream probably. But yeah, anyway, he will get it along with the others. Ooh. You missed all the conversation, Chip, about the fact that Doom has quit the Steam Deck and Linux and everything. It's all over, mate. They are different for the PC games. Yeah. I mean, the DS ports of every game is different from a PC or console game. That's just a given. You can't expect to see the same games on the little handheld device like the DS. That's for sure. PSP, just about. Oh, going in. Whew, right. Saw a Twitch streamer having issues with Kingdom Hearts on Steam. Can't say I know because I haven't played it, but I wouldn't be shocked. Many people have many issues with different games on Steam. Unfortunately, the days where we had quality control on Steam are long gone, which is quite depressing. Oh well. It's just, I guess, the way that Valve like to roll. Can't say I blame them, to be fair. When you're as big as Valve is, trying to control and deal with everything is a bit of a nightmare. I feel for them a bit. But it was nice when there was at least some quality control on Steam. Just some. I remember back in the days when I first came onto Steam, and things were actually very different back in those days. You had a very sensible looking storefront that was just, you know, easy to find everything. And it's crazy to think that so many of the games that I actually used to see on the storefront are no longer even available to buy on Steam. It's weird. God, I remember the days when you used to see Clive Barker's Jericho on the front of the Steam homepage. James Bond Quantum of Solace, all gone. Can't get any of them anymore, and it's very depressing that. But yeah, I remember those days. God, I wish we could see that sort of storefront again. That would be nice. Ooh. Does he actually come around the corner? Oh, he actually does. Does he come all the way around? No, I didn't think he did. That other curtain is kind of pointless. Alright. I think the Hogwarts Legacy is accurate to the books. Well, it depends what part of it you're looking at, really. Considering Hogwarts Legacy is a made-up story that has not been written in book form at all. I guess if you're looking at the spells, sure. From the story perspective, no. Because of course there is no book of it, so nothing from that side. How far is this guy? It's good enough, right? I agree with you, figure Hogwarts Legacy pay a good homage to the very early games. Maybe it's nostalgia. It's definitely nostalgia talking. Nah, Hogwarts Legacy does do a very good job for the earlier HP games, which is nice, you know. It was a decent game, Hogwarts Legacy, and I still enjoy it. I haven't played it for a little while now, but I still enjoy it. I think it's definitely got its downsides, Hogwarts Legacy, there's no denying it. But it's good. It's decent. Considering we had such a gap and we were left on the nicest way possible utter crap. It's nice that we actually got something good. Project 007 is coming, just good. God knows when. Yeah, they did a announcement about that the other day, actually. IO. They came out and said that they, you know, were saying that Project 007 was in great shape in development right now, and that they want to turn it into a trilogy of games, and that it's meant to be basically the start of James Bond, effectively, his very beginning. It'd be interesting to see what they do with that. I hope it's good. Obviously they'll only make it into a trilogy if it's actually good, I might add. Obviously if it fails, then we'll probably not see a trilogy, but yeah. I suspect it'll come at some point soon. Hazard a guess, considering they said what they said, it's probably going to come out in either 1 or 2 years, but yeah. That's my guess. Transfiguration, nice. I'd see Steam add older HP games, they never will. You may want to, like many other people, including myself I might add, would love to see that. It will never happen. There's a whole bundle of rights issues that are just stopping this from ever happening. It's never gonna come. Ever. If you're lucky, you might possibly get backwards compatibility on the PlayStation. If you're lucky, and to be honest, don't expect it. Because the likelihood of it happening is pretty much 1%. It probably won't happen. I would love it more than anyone else to see all these old HP games just be super accessible on all storefronts, just like that. But it's never gonna happen. Alright, what else we got? I was hoping the moral system, yeah, for Hogwarts Legacy that would have been good. It's a shame they didn't put that in actually. I assume they probably were gonna put it in. Like, I mean, the groundwork for it is there. I guess they took it out for various reasons, but who knows? Who made Force Unleashed? I can't remember the actual like in-game company name, but it was basically LucasArts. It was actually LucasArts, but it was like a section of LucasArts. They no longer exist, by the way, that section of LucasArts. So I assume at this point it's now Aspyr again who owns the rights to the Force Unleashed stuff, along with obviously Disney and that, but yeah. It would have been crazy if they add the game Everyone Hates the Goblet of Fire. You say everyone hates the Goblet of Fire, which is true, but in comparison to the Deathly Hallows, I would take Goblet of Fire over those two any day. But yes, anyway, if they were going to add them, I suspect they'd probably just add all of them on Steam if they were going to do it, but I doubt that you will ever see them. It's probably never going to happen. Not unless someone gets the rights to do it, I suppose. If somebody feels like they want to buy the rights for all these old games from both Warner and EA, then go ahead. It will cost you more than likely billions. If you're lucky, higher millions. But we'll see. I think what's more likely to happen is that Warner will do, probably anyway, new HP games based on the TV series and just leave these in their own little domain. It's probably what will happen. You never know, maybe something different will happen, but I doubt it. Disney is doing more for game preservation than the rest of the games industry. Well, I'm not sure I'd go quite as far as to say they're doing more for game preservation. That's not the reason why they're doing what they're doing, Doom. They're remastering games for the most part because, of course, they can make money off of it. And mainly because, to be brutally honest with you, Disney has this policy when they make games, which is they hand the rights for a developer to make the game, but they will fund none of it. Disney doesn't fund making the games, it's literally down to the publisher and the game studio, and that's it. That's the main reason why nobody wants to do a lot with Disney stuff, unless it's old, because it's already done, and it's just a simple job of remastering or, in certain cases, remaking it. That's why they do it. But yes, it is still very encouraging to see, you know, all of these things that are owned by Disney, Star Wars in particular right now, and that actually having some good stuff coming out. It's great. But yes, there are more reasons to it than meets the eye. Do I wish that the rest of the games industry would preserve stuff properly? Absolutely. But to be honest, if anything, at the rate it's going, everything is trying to make sure that nothing gets preserved. It's certainly heading that direction. But what can you do? Right, what have we got? Someone was trying the achievement hunt. They do not like the game. Or a remaster. It's like how Xbox is trying to remaster Skylanders, the first Are they? Xbox is remastering Skylanders? Really? This I did not know. They're remastering Skylanders. Of all the things that I thought that they would go and bother to remaster, Skylanders was not on my list. considering they've just bought the rights to COD, I thought they would be doing a bit more with that. Besides putting it on Game Pass on day one. I think the way Warner is going, it seems like it's going to be going to Disney way. I don't know, to be honest with you, with Warner. It's hard to say, actually, what they're going to do. The thing that is striking me as interesting is, of course, their more recent projects other than Hogwarts Legacy have not had a great outcome, for the most part. And really, they're doing some odd things. I still find it weird that, you know, for the Arkham series, it's been a known thing for a long time that there was something related to Arkham Origins in development for a while, and behind the scenes. Whether it was actually this VR specific game, I don't know, I can't answer that, but it's odd to me that the way Warner has decided to revive the Arkham games again after all this time and finally do a proper sequel to Arkham Origins, which by the way still hasn't had a remaster yet, which is mind-blowing to be honest, is to do a VR only version sequel that is exclusive to a brand new VR headset, the MetaQuest 3 I think it's called or something like that, and is, you know, only, and this is kind of the shocking bit, it's only going to be bought by people that will buy that headset, which by the way costs a lot of money. It's silly. They could have at the very least made it compatible with other VR headsets. I know the reason why they haven't is because Meta has paid them a load of money for it, but still, the point is it's a weird way to bring back one of your most beloved IPs of all time. It's very strange. It just hits me in the wrong ways, in many wrong ways. Anyway, we can only pray that there might be a proper Arkham Origins sequel that will exist, and I'd be all for it if it's really good. I liked Arkham Origins a lot, I thought it was a great game. COD plus Game Pass equals more money. Well, of course it does, what were you expecting? But I'm still shocked that they haven't done more with the older CODs, to be fair. There's quite a lot of openness available for them in that area, but there we are. It's who knows? I don't even know the minds of Microsoft and Warner anymore half the time, because it seems to be very random. But there we are. I don't know, we'll see what they do over the next few years. I'm sure they'll do something groundbreakingly incredible, and hopefully everyone will be really happy. I would be delighted though if there's a proper Arkham Origins sequel, and I'm talking about a proper one, not a VR one, an actual proper game. I see Mr. Luke has appeared. Luke is also a moderator slash admin who has not currently got the role here yet, who will. Chip is currently the only one who has, but there we go. An admin has made it into the live stream. Yay! We've got 3 admins that have made it today. At least 3. That's always good. Lame puns aside. Luke, you're full of lame puns. You're born for it. Anyway. I hope it's going well. Welcome back to streaming. Yeah, it's interesting. I've actually been away for a lot longer than I honestly thought I was. It's weird when you look at the last stream you did and you realise it's been over a month. But yes, thanks Luke, I appreciate it. I'm not quite fully back, so to speak, as I won't be streaming next week. Unless it's during the week and it will be a small stream if I do. I doubt it. But yeah, I won't be streaming anymore in October probably. So it will be November will be the next time we'll be streaming. But like I did mention earlier on, when I'm streaming in November, I'm not going to be doing it on my own. There will be another person with me during this stuff. So yeah, streaming is back, but it's going to be back in a slightly different manner. Slightly different anyway. We'll see. Still got a lot of things to sort of help. I'm full of lame puns. You are full of lame puns. You are the pun lamer master. Anyway, I appreciate, by the way, all the effort you've been putting into helping people inside the Discord server lately, because both myself and Chip have been very busy. It's no denying it. We've definitely been busy, alright? I have been popping in and out every once in a while on Discord just to look at things, and that's about it. But yes, anyway, it's been helpful that you've been doing that. Although I appreciate you're now having to do this when archive.org is currently dead. So that's even more entertaining. And I have no idea, by the way, when archive.org is going to come back to life. And that's really sad, because it's a vitally important resource. And it needs to come back to life again at some point soon, ideally. I really don't want that to die, because it's such a vitally important thing for the world, like the whole world. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. Like this new Arkham game, yeah. One time on TikTok I saw the voice actor who voices the sword hat in Hogwarts Legacy. Interesting. Was Batman Arkham Origins Cold Heart good? Was New Game Plus for the story? You mean the DLC for Arkham Origins Cold Heart? The one that's basically doing the origin story of Mr. Freeze? Yeah, I actually quite like that story. I liked all of Arkham Origins, to be honest. I think people that gave Arkham Origins a hard time was unjustified for the most part, and a bit silly. Sure, yeah, I will agree with people that it was quite similar to Arkham City, but in all honesty, are you that shocked by that? Given that they came out very close to one another, of course they're going to be quite similar. But even with the similarities, I'd still argue Arkham Origins is very unique in its own way, and it does some really great things, actually. But yeah, Cold Heart was very good. I enjoyed that. I think people were definitely too harsh on Arkham Origins when it came out. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely had performance problems when it came out, and sure, that wasn't great. But besides that, honestly, a really good game. People are missing out big time by not playing Arkham Origins, to be brutally honest with you. They really are. And especially when you compare Deathstroke's appearance in Arkham Origins to Deathstroke's appearance in Arkham Knight. There's a pretty massive difference in quality. One is an actual really difficult, truly challenging boss fight that actually stands up very well to this day and is still one of the greatest boss fights in the Arkham series. And one is a tank battle, which ends with Deathstroke jumping out of a tank and then in a cutscene getting knocked out. So yeah, I think we can already tell which one's better. Arkham Origins. Arkham Origins had some really solid boss fights, actually. Really solid. I like the boss fights in Arkham Origins. They put a lot of time and effort into that. Definitely. Solid stuff. Solid. And they deserve a lot of praise for that. Yes, unfortunately, people destroyed Internet Archive for no real good reason and destroyed an incredibly important resource on the web. Yay! Just yay. There was literally no real reason to do so, I might add. But yeah, truthfully, it needs to come back because it is a vital resource to the world. I don't think people realise how important Internet Archive actually is. It's super important, and if it ever disappears or dies, by the way, there's an awful lot of the internet that's just about to go like that. Yes, I am woefully sad about Internet Archive. What are your tips for focusing? I could not be bothered doing coding and stuff like that, etc, etc. What do I do to focus? That's a good question. What do I do to focus? I mean, realistically, I tend to just block out everything else from the world. I usually do all manner of things to do that. I remember when I was back at uni trying to focus on certain things I was doing, I actively unplugged the Wi-Fi adapter on my PC so I couldn't go on the web and like look at YouTube and stuff in the background, because obviously it would distract me. So that was a good way of doing it. But there were other things too, of course. Yeah, no, I mean, there are various ways of doing it, that's for sure, but that was one that I did. I mean, otherwise, I tend to just block out everything in general from the rest of the world's perspective to get on with things, and I can do that quite well, to be honest. I could also happily tell people to go away when I'm busy doing stuff. I'm very good at it. I mean, there's not much else I can really say, because it kind of depends on the person and the way they work and do things, so there you go. But I do think one that works, you know, for everyone as far as I'm concerned, is if you're in particular doing coding and you don't need access to the web to look at resources and so on, then yeah, I definitely recommend you just unplug your internet, so that way you can't use it. And don't get the urge to try and plug it back in. So, yeah, that's the way you do it. That's the way you get around it. For example, I don't know, Doom might have had a lot of focus on his Steam Deck at one point, which I know he did, to be fair. And then eventually lost the ability to care for it anymore, so he switched to, well, I assume right now anyway, PC. And, you know, he's going to a ROG. And he's going to become a ROG man. And everyone will be happy. I'm sure that Chip also, when he focuses, basically ignores the existence of all human beings. For the most part. I don't know, actually. I'd be curious to know what Chip does do when he's focusing. We need to ask him. Chip! I know you're here somewhere. Come back. We have questions for you. It's an interrogation. Get you information from the Chip. Oh, Chip. I know you're out there. Appear. Oh. How are you not dead? Die already. Thank you. Right. Oh god, he's dropped a freaking bomb. Right. I can, for example, say that, you know, for my outside job that I've been doing at the moment outside of content creation, I do website development. So, for me, it has definitely taken up a lot of my time and has kept me way too preoccupied in certain situations. But for that, I need, you know, focus when I'm doing that sort of stuff. And especially in my case, when I've been jumping from multiple websites, you know, back and forth in development at the same time, it means that as a result I need that focus to really be quite grounded. So yes, I do quite literally block out the entire world for that reason, and I'm very good at that, and I have done so. You know, I've cut off communication pretty much from everyone for weeks while doing that sort of stuff, because I don't want any distractions while I'm doing that, because a lot can go wrong when you're developing a website, I might add. You know, if you're doing different pieces of design, in particular changing coding aspects of a website, that can be a disaster if you get it wrong. So yeah, you just have to do these sort of things. Anyway, there you go, Fly. So how many bosses were there in the first game for Game Boy Color? What, in Philosopher's Stone? Oh god, how many bosses were there in that? That's a good question. I haven't played the Game Boy Color versions for years. Absolutely years worth of my life. I don't remember many parts of them, to be honest, other than that they were quite good when they focused on the books, but that was about all I cared for with them. I think boss fight wise though, from my memory, but there could be way more than this, and there probably are. I think there was about 4. There probably was more, I just don't remember them. Like I said, it's been years since I last played them, so I can't really remember that well, but yeah, I'm gonna say 4. I don't know. There's another Harry Potter expert in here, I'm sure. I don't know, is there a Luke or a Chip available? But in particular a Luke, is there a Luke available? If there's a Luke available, then he might be able to give you the answer to exactly how many bosses there are in the Game Boy Color game of Philosopher's Stone, because I honestly don't know off the top of my head. And Luke is like a religious know-it-all when it comes to the HP games. So if Mr. Luke would appear, then we might get an answer. Depends if he appears. If he doesn't appear, just spam him on Discord. Oh god, where's the prefect? Oh, I can make it. Oh, I was behind the curtain. You can literally see the curtains pulled. Oh, come on. That's so unfair. I was so freaking well behind the curtain. No. I might try the GBA version. Yeah, the GBA version is different. The GBA version of Philosopher's Stone is very different. It's decent and dated. It's got some good bits and it's definitely got some bad bits. I like aspects of that game, to be fair, but it's certainly dated mechanic-wise. I was just about to go in your Discord and tell Chip to get in here, but I think John banned me again. Did he? Why did John ban you? Is there a particular reason why John banned you? I'm not aware of this. I'm sure that John can unban you. Why did he ban you? Were you spamming fly? Were you spamming things? Were you being a dodgy fly? Not like all flies that fly around the place can be a little dodgy. Come on, get in it. Don't use Discord that much. My account was blank because it was a new one, so I think you might have thought it. Oh, right. If you say what the account name was, then we can sort that out and get you back on and fix that. Ooh, shite. Thank you. I like the way all these prefects in this version carry books, as you do. Everywhere, they're just carrying a book. Bon Biff. Right. I'll tell you what, let me just get past these prefects and I'll just tell Chip to look through the Discord server and unban that. I will get him. Hang on. Because I can tell Chip to do these things. And he usually gets it done. Right, there we go. Right, let me quickly message Chip about it. Mr. Chip. What was it? It was Bon Biff. Bon Biff. Yeah. I just forgot that Discord accounts serve usernames instead of the names and numbers now. Yep, they do indeed. And it as its fly. Flyland, there you go. He is having trouble and thinks John banned him. There we go. Oh, hello Chip. I just sent you a message on Discord if you want to read it. But while you're here, basically, Fly, he's put his username for Discord above, Bombiff. And by the sounds of it, John has apparently banned his account on the server for some bizarre reason, and it shouldn't be banned. So if we could get it unbanned, that'd be great. You should be able to do that, because I did allow moderators to do that sort of thing, so you should be able to unban it. But anyway, where am I supposed to be going? I think it's common room, isn't it? I know some people where they want Simpsons Hit and Run on PS5. I mean, I think anyone wants Simpsons Hit and Run to return in any capacity on anything. Will it? Probably not, but, you know, we can all dream. Anyway, Chip, you should see the message I sent you. Have a read. Right, in here. That's very good advice, Alex. I really need to get serious about blocking out distractions. I have a website blocker, but I just turn it off. Yeah, that's poor. You shouldn't be doing that, Fly. That's poor. Yeah, I'll have a look for you. Perfect, thank you very much. That's very, very helpful. Like I said, I think John's by accident banned it when he shouldn't have done. And John should get a slap for that. Nah. But anyway, he's made a mistake, so we need to sort that out. Obviously, if the name is not in the list at all, though, then I'm just going to recommend that you try joining again, Fly, and see what happens. We do have kind of a new policy in the server now, which is anyone that's made an account on the exact day that they end up joining is considered questionable and a bit suspicious, so we tend to just not allow it in, because usually those are bot accounts, so we don't allow them in. So if you had done that, then that might be why John did what he did. But that's if that's what he did. I don't know. John and various other people usually handle who gets rights inside the server most of the time these days. I do it on the odd occasion. I usually do it if I just so happen to be around and the only person, you know, that's about to do anything. But otherwise, it's usually, from my understanding, Mel, John and Chip sometimes, I think, that does it. Oh, and also Luke does it as well, I believe. Well, I still have default profile pictures, so that's why I suspect he probably thought it was a bot. Yeah, if, again, you have a default profile picture and you make an account on the day that you join or anything like that, then of course it's going to be considered a bit questionable. But anyway, I've got rid of multiple accounts that I've considered questionable. They might not have been, but at the end of the day, you know, it's just how it is. I would rather be safe than sorry, is the way I like to put it. Anyway, yeah, so looks like Chip has unbanned, so yeah, try it again. And of course, if you join again, then we'll just give you a roll right away. Just joined again at the work. Alright, perfect, there we go. Awesome. So, I assume Chip's probably given you a roll then at this point, so you should have the roll again to do what you want. Good. Alright, so Fly's sorted out then. Alright, perfect. Thank you for that, Chip. That was very helpful. We've sorted out Fly's issue. Hey, we got Alahamora now. Nice. Oh shit, did Doom message you? He said earlier he was going to message you on Discord. Oh, I thought I could make that, but I didn't make it. How depressing. For the PC version, to learn new spells, you have to press button on the keyboard. I mean, for the PC version, you have to use the keyboard all the time. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean there. But yeah, fair enough. Oi, you should have died. Right, there we go. Yeah, he did. Alright, there you go then. He did message you, so there you are. The Doom has sent DM, and it's a DM of Doom. Doom and glory. Pure doom and glory for you, Mr. Chip. You get nothing more. I saw your other message, by the way, that you sent, Chip. And that's fine. I couldn't really care less. At the end of the day, that's fine. If anyone complains, the stuff is already on the 1.0 version anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just point them in that direction. Right. Like the first game, you had to use your mouse. Oh yeah. You always had to use your mouse to draw the spells in the first one. That was interesting. I know, a lot of people seem to really hate that. I personally thought that was quite an interesting game mechanic. Sure, it wasn't perfect, but I still enjoyed it. I did enjoy it, I thought it was really good. I kind of am sad that with the PC games, it kind of went downhill for that stuff. You know, the first one had the spell drawing with your mouse, which, yeah, granted in the old days was a bit awful, but modern days is not a problem really in my opinion. Then you went down the route of, sadly, and it is a bit depressing, sadly just having arrow keys, which just felt a bit pathetic, to then Prisoner of Azkaban, which was just nothing. It really went downhill, which was a bit sad, but anyways, what it is. Hello AW, welcome to the stream, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Ooh, invisible door. Alright. I would use auto-clicker for that. Auto-clicker, really? Amazing. I personally never had any real problem drawing those spells. Bear in mind that I played that when it first came out, where you had to use those stupid ball mice. Those were horrible, by the way, and that's when that was dreadful to do. That was really, really horrible to do spell drawings with the ball mice, because they were just poor. But with laser mice, not a problem at all. Such a difference. It would be honestly weird, I think, to go back to using one of those bald mice again. But there you are. Right. Right, let's have a quick check of the Discord server. Ah. There you go, all sorted out. So Fly is in, and all good to go. Fabulous. Okay, good. Drawing the spells was rough. Typing the arrows was somewhat tedious. But once you got it down, it was pretty easy. Fair enough. I'm still actually surprised how many people find the the whole arrow thing difficult. I'm generally quite shocked by that. It's not just you, by the way, AW. There are actually other people out there that generally found pressing arrow keys to learn the spells quite difficult. I generally am quite shocked by this. Well, I suppose maybe I played too many games over the years and stuff, and to be fair, I mean, it's my whole sector, but still, I thought that wasn't too bad. There you go. It was easy for me on the second game, yeah. I can agree with people finding the first game's one challenging, because it is. It definitely is challenging. But at the same time, it kind of is something that I think you can get used to fairly quickly. Practice it enough and you'll be fine. Ooh, sorry. Not difficult, just boring. It very much is boring pressing arrows. 100%. It's boring, alright. Very, very boring. But at least you get to hear some kick-ass Lockhart lines. Well done, Harry. You completed my Spongify challenge. What I find difficult was drawing the spells in the first one. That was not easy sometimes. I would say certain symbols were easier than others. I would definitely argue that the hardest one to draw, probably in my eyes anyway, is Incendio. Incendio's one is actually quite challenging. Flipendo I thought was really easy. Alohomora was fairly challenging. Wingardium Leviosa I don't find that bad, and Lumos I certainly don't find bad at all. I'd say that the two challenging ones are basically just Incendio and Wingardium Leviosa. Sorry, not Wingardium Leviosa, I mean Alohomora. But the main reason for those being challenging is because there's a lot of curves in them. Where am I supposed to be going? Is it outside? I've forgotten. This is what happens when you don't pay attention. Oh, Moni Metal's bathroom. Fair enough. Right, hang on. Boink. Ooh, where? Ooh. What I find difficult was drawing the spells in the first one, yeah. If I play those games on my Windows 11, I want to use my Universal Studios fund. Right. Yeah, speed it up a little bit. There we go, right. Sorry, it was taking too long for the cutscene to walk in. It's like the Dark Lord wand. I haven't tried them on Windows 11 yet. I still have to get out my old laptop. Get out the old laptop, eh? Deary me. I wouldn't try doing the spell tracing on a bloody trackpad, I'll give you that. That's something I can certainly recommend you shouldn't do. Because that's painful. Yes, Internet Archive at the moment is down, unfortunately, due to recent events. So you just have to wait for a while. It'll sort itself out, I'm sure, in time. Don't know when, but in time it will happen. But yeah, you're just gonna have to wait. That's what we're currently having to say to everyone that needs help with things, is you just gotta have patience at the moment, I'm afraid. I know that's not exactly the easiest thing for everyone, but you do have to be patient at the moment, unfortunately. because there's really not a lot you can do about it other than just wait and hope that things get sorted soon. But it has been a while already that Internet Archive has been down, and I have a horrible feeling it's going to still be a little while yet. I wouldn't even be shocked if it takes at least a month for it to definitely come back, but it could be longer, and there are a lot of problems that happen, to be fair, so we'll see, but it's going to be a little while. No way I have a USB mouse now, that's the way you go with laptops, my man. I think Prisoner of Azkaban is easy on PC. It is indeed easy, it's very easy. On Internet Archive, that's where I got the codes for the games, yeah. Everyone gets everything off Internet Archive because it's where it is. It's the easiest place to get it all, really. But you just have to wait. It's annoying, and it's gonna take some time, but it is what it is. This is why I tend to not ever delete things and just store them on hard drives. So that way I don't have to rely on the web all the time for things. It's the best way of dealing with these sort of situations, to be honest. Just buy yourself a nice spare hard drive where you just store things forever. And then you're all good to go. Solves many problems. I bet it will be a year or two before it's back to normal. I don't think it'll be a year or two. I think that's a little far given the situation. But I do think it'll come back. It's just I think there are going to be parts of it that will require more effort to sort out. I do think the Wayback Machine is going to be interesting. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do with that one. I think general stuff for Internet Archive will not be too horrendous. I think they'll get that back reasonably soon. But the Wayback Machine, yeah, I don't know how that one's going to go down. But they'll sort it. The most important thing, though, of the whole lot really, is that Internet Archive doesn't have enough problems as it is anyway, have more problems added on top of it. Because we really don't want it to have tons of problems, because otherwise it could die. And that's really what we don't need. We do not need it to die. It would be a serious problem. So, ideally we don't want any more problems. It's a very vital resource. If YouTube was taken down, what will the YouTubers do? I don't know. Retire? Probably. They'll either retire or create a brand new platform, I suppose. Or they just jump over to Twitch and kick, I guess. But, yeah. Don't know. Honestly, don't know. I checked recently on the website, everything is still down. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the whole of Internet Archive is down at the moment. All of it. None of it's working. They are doing updates regarding like the status of it on Twitter or X. That's where they basically are doing all their announcements for stuff. So yeah, if you want to keep really up to date, that's where you go. But we'll see, we'll see. Oh god, it's these things. From what I understood, it's basically stripped down, and Wayback Machine was the only functioning element still. I don't see it working for a couple of months at best. Yeah, I do think it's going to be at least a month, if not more, before it's really sorted. We'll see. We will certainly see. Either way, it's very depressing that people felt the need to go and destroy a very important piece of history for completely the wrong bloody reasons, which have nothing to do with the website. But whatever, there we go. We're not going to get into that whole topic and debate here, because that's not what we talk about on streams, but still, it's pathetic. It'll go to Twitch or Kick, yeah. That's what I said, basically. Sucks, because now I would have to rely on dodgier sites to get no CVs, so basically I'm just forced to wait. Pretty much, yeah. There are ways of dealing with it, I suppose. If you still can't wait, then I mean what you can do is you can put, and I do recommend, by the way, this to everyone, you should always really do this anyway, is if you ever find like a crack or something for a game that's not in Internet Archive or whatever, and I still recommend you do it for Internet Archive, by the way, you should do it for everything, you should chuck it inside a virus total. So basically put the link where you get the actual crack from inside of virus total, and let it scan it properly, and it will scan the file as well that's there, and check everything and make sure that it's alright. I always recommend you do this, because it's the best thing you can possibly do whenever you think you might be possibly downloading something a bit iffy off of the web. Always check it in there. Then you'll see. Obviously, you'll get different results, of course, with various things. In some cases, it's not always the most accurate thing in the world, because of course there are, and it's impossible to deal with this, I'm afraid, going to be false positives for things. There's literally nothing you can do about that. That's always going to happen. False positives are just a natural reality of the world on PCs, but you know, for the most part, you'll be alright. But yeah, I would always check it there if I were you. It's a really good idea to do this. Hey Snape. I completely agree, something wrong with them, yeah indeed. Is there a free version of that? Yes there is. You can use the free version of it on the web. Just search up virus total, and then you can put your link in there. The only thing you won't be able to do, of course, with the free version is if you had an entire file, so like for example a whole game, just as an example here, like 8 gigs or more, you wouldn't be able to put that in to scan it on the free one, because you're limited by size. That's why I said whenever you're going to get things, just put the links of the URL where you are on the website in there, and then it will scan the URL of the website and also the actual item as well. So that's how you do it with the free version. True, every system has its weakness. Still, if one runs things through several enterprise checkers, some catch things, others do not. Yep, correct. And the good thing about Virus Total, of course, is it checks against tons of different, checkers across the world. Now, obviously, the one that is the most important one at the end of the day is Windows Defender. So whenever you look at Virus Total and you look at the results, always check Windows Defender, because that's the most vital one. And you need to see if it comes up with a flag, what it says on the flag itself. But bear in mind, like I said, you are going to get false positives, and Windows Defender is definitely, something that will come up with false positives. It does it all the time, but there's nothing you can do about it. But for the average person, the average Joe, as I like to say, that is your best option, and I highly recommend it. So make the most of it. And we're going outside now, aren't we? Yeah. I think there should be a version for mobile also. There probably is a version of Virus Total for mobile. I actually don't know because I never cared to look, but yeah, there might be. I'm not sure about that. I obviously just know it from a PC perspective. The other program you can use, by the way, if you actually have a file downloaded, primarily this one, is Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes is also a very good one to use too. I definitely recommend that one. But again, like before, you can get false positives even with Malwarebytes. You're going to get false positives with everything. It's just the way it goes. But the other thing I would recommend, even though I tend to not recommend them very often, is if you really are playing something where there's nothing other than a flagging version of it, you can play it in a virtual machine. So you can set yourself up a virtual machine and just get the game or whatever inside of that, and then just play it inside the virtual machine. The nice thing about this is if it has any issues, of course it will only be an issue inside of the virtual machine, which means if you notice anything odd inside the virtual machine happening and so on, it doesn't matter to the rest of your PC because you just close the virtual machine down and that's it. It's ended the whole of that process and it's gone. So yeah, virtual machine is the other alternative for that sort of stuff. Obviously it's a lot of effort to set up and that, sure, but that is your other option. Oh, I've got 11. Oops. That's not what I want. I want this. Really? There you go. Let me in. What would you say is the best out of the antivirus scanners, like Malwarebytes, etc.? Well, I've given you the answer, really. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to sort of web-based things, it's Virus Total and Malwarebytes are the ones you use. When it comes to actual proper antiviruses, the one that you should just use all the time by default now really is Windows Defender. There's honestly no reason to use anything other than Windows Defender anymore, and most of the other ones are really aggressive with the amount of data they steal from you. So if you want a lot of your PC's data to be sent to them 24/7, use them. But yeah, they're also way too sensitive, most of them as well, for the most pathetic things as well. No, I honestly say that the time period where we used to have lots of antiviruses, you know, where you used to be on, I don't know, Windows Vista 7 sort of time period, where you used to have all these different antiviruses out there, like AVG and so on. You know, that time's come and gone. It was a thing back then where it was a big deal, not anymore. Nowadays you just use Windows Defender, and at the end of the day you're better off trusting Microsoft, to be honest. Because most of these other antivirus companies get bought up, and then they also have various ways of sending data through to different places, and it's not a good idea anymore. But yeah. Can't remember what the virtual machine is that Chip used. If Chip comes back, he can give you the answer to that. I actually generally can't remember what it was called, but yeah, Chip's one that he's used for a lot of things is really good. I think that's probably the one you really want, to be honest. It also allows you to emulate multiple versions of Windows, so that's the one you want. I do also want to add that browsers are also very good now at actually protecting you when you go to, like, you know, various websites or downloading things. Obviously, if you don't turn on protection related materials on your browser, then no, but if you actually have that turned on, which you should, by the way, have that stuff turned on, then they're also very good at protecting you from bad downloads and things. And they will accept, you know, they have their own scanners, they will check stuff. So, yeah, browsers also do a good job too. I mean, in general, just be sensible with what you do and where you go. That's the best way of wording it. Just be sensible. If you're not being sensible, then it's kind of your own fault, really. But be sensible and you'll be alright. Yes, Chrome does indeed have the safety check function, which is definitely something that's worthwhile using if you think you're, you know, looking at something iffy. Yeah, at the end of the day, just be careful with what you do. There's, you know, easy ways to just keep yourself safe, and that's just be sensible. And I would also argue, don't go to websites that generally don't have a somewhat good reputation. Also, a big one, just as a general recommendation for people here, if you go to websites to download things and you think it's possibly iffy, if it has a comment section on it, which usually, by the way, most honest sites do, then read the comments and see what people say. Because at the end of the day, that's a great place to check. People leave comments on stuff like that all the time, and they'll make a note of what's okay, what's not okay, and listen to what they say. You know, that's also the best way of looking at these sort of things too. You just gotta look at that. Oh, another thing in general I would recommend anyway for the most part. Obviously, this probably should be a given for most people. And it's not, again, something that applies to every website, just to make that very clear. You know, back in the old times, we used to not have a thing called HTTPS. It was just HTTP. Basically, the S stands for security, in case you were wondering. So, you know, a lot of old websites might still not have the S. And quite a few game fixing websites don't. There's nothing actually wrong with those websites, I might add. They're absolutely fine. But, you know, a general tip, if you're going to websites, go to ones with HTTPS, because they actually have proper security put on them. Obviously, you know, there are different ways of having to deal with it, but really just try and go to those and stick with them. And obviously, if you've got any which involve, you know, spending money, i.e. on a card, never, and I mean this under any circumstances, ever go and spend money or use a card of any kind on a website that doesn't have HTTPS. That's just a fact. Don't do it. ever. You have no idea how much information you are throwing around there and really putting a lot of it in danger. So don't do it. It's a major tip, that, and an important one. A lot of people can get caught out with that. You can also check URLs as well, by the way. Well, on most sensible browsers anyway. So you could always check to see if it looks dodgy or not. The other thing you can get as well on the internet now, there are extensions you can get which allow you to effectively scan websites before you even go on them. So yeah, you can get those as well. Obviously, again, those sort of things are not always 100% accurate like everything else, but they're a pretty good source to use, and actually, to be fair, most of the time are very accurate. So you can see what looks alright and what doesn't. What they do as well, those which are really good, is they pick up a lot of these, I guess you could call them scam websites more, but they're basically trying to mimic another website that's actually legit and sort of masking it with a fake one. So yeah, those ones, they can get picked up with those quite easily. But again, just check the URLs of things. Also, you know, when you're looking at downloading a piece of software that's important, say, I don't know, the big OBS scam, for example, that went around for a while. You know, there was a virus lot that basically made a fake website which looked identical to OBS and everything, and even gave you the download for the software, which of course was the software, just full of unfortunate material, and was taking over YouTubers' accounts and things like that. So basically, if you were sensible in this situation and you didn't just jump straight into it, then you might have gone and looked at other places where the actual owners of OBS are. So you would check Twitter, for example, where they have the actual link for their products. Likewise, you can message the support team to check things, and of course, basically this was a fake OBS link, and it caused a lot of problems because it was the top result on Google for ages, and it was very unfortunate. But yes, anyway, it eventually obviously got taken down, but you know, you do have to be cautious. Check things, check them thoroughly. Anyway, there you go, there's just some general tips if you like. I mean, these are pretty much given things anyway. If you're doing stuff on the web, I would have thought most people would follow these pretty basic things, but still, worth mentioning as the topic was brought up. As for your virtual machine thing, like I said, you need Chip here, and I don't know where he is. But if he comes back, then he'll give you an answer. I guess the last thing on that topic, I will mention this because I think it's worth mentioning, is that of course if you're on, you know, Internet Archive, just to make it clear that Internet Archive has a very good scanner, very good, and it usually picks up anything that's IVI straight away. So as a result, you know, Internet Archive will check files before they get uploaded there, and everything really is basically clean. And Internet Archive themselves do take down anything that they think is not right. They'll get rid of it right away. So Internet Archive has been very good for that stuff over the years, and of course I'm sure it will be even more vigorous with it now once of course it comes back up. But yeah, you know, you can usually trust Internet Archive all the time, quite frankly. But if you want to be extra cautious, again, you can check these things. You could scan stuff and so on. It's always a good precaution to always be extra safe with anything. So, there you are. Yay, peeves. Painful in the ribs. Right. I want that. Oh, baby. I have not played the game. No, I've seen the game that you mentioned. I have indeed seen it. I haven't played it though, no. Yeah, I can imagine it's by the guys that made, you know, Banjo. That doesn't really shock me. But, yeah. I haven't played it, but I have seen it. In fact, I think I might own it, to be fair. If it was a part of the, what do they call it? They call it like the Rare HD collection or something like that. Then, yeah, I probably own it. The reason I got that, by the way, was for Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. But, yeah. I like Perfect Dark and I also like GoldenEye. Two very good games. Thought it was crazy what they got away with. Could get away with all manner of things back in the days in gaming. It always was a thing, actually. I could argue that with the times, but there's games. But yeah. Hell, I mean, there was it Conquer or Banjo? I can't remember what game it was there. That has the giant poo boss. That was certainly something, that. Why did Steam take off their games? What do you mean? Do you mean just in general why have multiple games that were on Steam come off of Steam? It's to do with rights and licensing, that's why. There's nothing you can do about it, it's an unfortunate reality of the world, and it sucks. Yeah, it was Conquer that had the giant poo, I thought it was. Yeah, it's to do with rights. For the most part, anything that comes off of Steam is a rights issue. And if it's not a rights issue, then it's usually because the developer just doesn't want it on Steam anymore. Either because they have to pay for it to stay on there and they don't want to do that, or because the game's just not very popular, so it's not worth keeping there. There are multiple reasons. In the case of multiplayer games, it's usually because they shut down the servers as well, so they don't want to keep them there. And I guess if you want to be really special, then in the case of Epic Games is Unreal. That's just because Epic, you know, has their own storefront and hates Valve with a passion. Obviously doesn't want to support the Unreal games anymore because they got Fortnite where they make a fortune now, so they don't really give a damn about Unreal anymore, which is really sad because Unreal is a fantastic franchise. But there we are. Anyway, that's why. But yes, most of the time it's to do with rights. So I mean, for example, Clive Barker's Undying, James Bond, Spider-Man, all manner of things that have gone from Steam over the years are entirely to do with rights. And basically when, you know, the developer no longer has the rights to keep it and they can't sell it anymore, so they have to stay with, you know, nothing basically at the end of the day, and all of the places where they have uploaded it, it gets taken off. It's a sad reality, but it's just how it is. Not much you can do about it. Lately they said buying doesn't equate to owning. I think you just have bought the rights for it. Yeah, I mean, that's just because they're forced to say that legally. We already know that Valve, or Steam if you like, has been basically building a way that if they ever did shut down for people to keep their games. We know this because they've said it many times. But in the case of certain games that go on Steam, sure, of course, they won't be kept forever, because the developer will want to make sure that it's taken away. I mean, a good example is Ubisoft with The Crew. You know, that was taken away from everyone lately, even though it has in its game code the ability to be played offline completely. But instead of activating that, they just took it completely offline. Now, I'm sure one of the major reasons why they did that though, which is the same for all driving games really in the end, is rights for music and cars. Cars is a big one actually. All of these things with cars is a bloody nightmare. So, stuff gets taken out because they lose the rights to use the cars most of the time. But the music is also a problem too. But yeah, especially cars. They're really bad. But it is what it is. Well, I mean, you can still get physical games, of course, but for console, although in the case of Xbox you might as well not bother. In the case of PlayStation it's different because you actually do own the game on the physical disc because it's an installer, so that's fine. In the case of Xbox, you don't. In Xbox's case, you are downloading the game off the web even if it's from the disc every time. And obviously in the case of PC, there's not a lot you can do about it. And to be brutally honest with you, at the end of the day, I'm actually not too upset about the way PC has gone, just because the physical side of things with PC was really bad in the past, and as a result has left it in a shambles. So, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. Rocket League is in Fortnite. Not shocked by that. Everything's in Fortnite these days. That's just the truth. Everything is in it. Absolutely every damn thing. Fortnite makes a bloody fortune off of just everything now. Well, I say Fortnite, Epic does. Epic are just literally rich off of one bloody game. And I have to be honest, I do kind of hate the fact that Fortnite became as popular as it did, because it helped ruin the games industry in many ways. It's done a lot of damage, that game, more than people realise actually, way more. It's depressing how much damage that game has done. But oh well, not much you can do about it. All I can say is thank God the time period of Battle Royale games is starting to fade. That time that's faded away. I hated the fact that every damn company for a while was making a bloody Battle Royale. Every single one. It's just so unnecessary. Oh well. Epic may have made some decent-ish games with Gears of War back in the days, but they certainly managed to pretty much crumble an industry. That's true, but I'm purely PC. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's more than just the Harry Potters, by the way, from the past that had problems. There are loads of physical PC games of the past that are just in a disastrous state. So many. Endless. I mean, some of the ones off the top of my head, look at Lord of the Rings, great example. They're all screwed. The big ones, though, like off the top of my head immediately, is King Kong. My god, what a disaster of a port that was on PC. So, in case you didn't know, there are two versions of King Kong on PC now. Most people don't even know about the second one that exists, but it's pretty important. Anyway, the first one is called the Signature Edition. It's like the original one that released. It released with a Russian DRM called Star Force, which installed a bootleg onto your PC, which, by the way, is extremely iffy and not okay. It then ended up basically getting screwed in a way that I think it was Microsoft who tried to sort of stop it from being able to work. So if you were to install King Kong Physical Edition on PC now, it basically just bricks your PC, so you can't use it anymore unless you format it. If you're lucky, you might be able to go back to an old build if the PC is capable of it anymore. But anyway, it's a big problem. So Ubisoft's answer to fixing this was to release another version called King Kong Gamer Edition, which has no DRM in it. Problem is, they only made it a download, and of course it's nowhere to be found anymore unless people pirate it. And people get it, of course, off of places like Internet Archive. But anyway, the point remains, it's a big problem. It's a serious issue. And in turn, yeah, you can say that it's definitely left some, well, games in pretty rough state. Oh, that one, sorry. Yeah, Safe Disk ruined tons of games. That was a disaster. There are lots of places that sell the games where they shouldn't be. Too many, actually. Far too many. And it's not good. You can walk into any CEX store around the UK at the moment and see King Kong PC physical copy which should not be for sale in any capacity in the CEX. That is genuinely a danger to your PC. That's just a fact. But anyhow, basically, if you ever want to play King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong to be exact, on PC, you want to be playing the Gamer Edition, which you can only get via random websites online. But obviously, the best place to get it, which is where you should get it, is Internet Archive. So if you ever want it, once that comes back, get it from there. Because it's the right place to get it. Anyway. Yeah. It's not good. No, I know they're not worried, but in reality you could actually sue them. You know, if someone bought that version of King Kong from CX and, you know, installed it on the PC and it broke and did a lot of damage, they could actually sue, and that could be very dangerous for CX. But yeah, the point is, you know, there's a lot of things on PC that shouldn't be for sale in shops. If you are somebody that looks at these games in detail, like me, and thoroughly looks at what's inside of them and so on, then yeah, it's always interesting to see what's up for sale inside of these shops. But there we are, you know, it's the way it is. I would like to add that Steam is also not perfect for everything. For example, look at Resident Evil 5 on Steam. Used to be actually perfectly fine, and Capcom put the Russian DRM, the Enigma project, inside of it, which, long and behold, if you really wish to trust that and go and play that game, feel free. I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that if I were you, but it's up to you. But yeah, you just have to be careful with these things, you know, you've got to keep an eye out. And I'm afraid that Steam is not 100% safe. There are things on Steam that are not safe. Hell, I'd even argue that all the old COD games are not safe, because they have rat exploits, which is a remote access Trojan, in case you're wondering what that means. Where someone can remote access your PC and do all manner of harm, basically. So, yeah, they're not all safe. You just have to be cautious of these things. Just do your research. Anyhow, yeah, go on. I think we'll call it there. I know we technically didn't finish this, but we pretty much finished it. The ending is not that incredible, really. It's just going to Aragog in a cutscene and then fighting a giant snake that turns red. Which is cool, I guess, but there's nothing groundbreaking. But, yeah. Huh. Where ratters can go through a Steam game. Yeah, not all Steam games, to be honest with you. You know, not everything. I'd like to add, on top of that topic then, that, you know, online, specifically online related games, which the CODs are. Hell, Left 4 Dead's had this problem. Counter-Strike, I believe, had it in the past. There's lots of games that have it, where, you know, a remote access Trojan is found in a game. and if the developer is a good developer and sensible, they'll patch it. So Valve, for example, is extremely good with this. They actually pay people that find them. They pay people that find exploits in their games to let them know about it, and then they will then go and obviously patch it and fix it. So yeah, basically Left 4 Dead has had various exploits, rat exploits over time that have been patched, but the difference is that there are some developing companies and publishers out there who will fix their games and patch those exploits that are very serious, I might add, and then there are others that just don't. So you just have to be wary of it. Unfortunately, for your information, Activision is not good at that. They do it sometimes, but usually when they are very much forced to. They've got plenty of old COD games on Steam that have got lots of rat exploits in them, and RCEs, etc. There's a massive mix all over the board, to be honest. No, so the main way they achieve it, in the case of, like, for example, I'll use COD as an example. The main way that this can happen, Black Ops 2 is a perfect example actually, is if the players were to go and play a multiplayer game and join a public lobby, that hacker can just be sitting in that lobby and then has access to every single person in that lobby due to the fact that the game's built on a peer-to-peer connection, and there's no security, by the way, in any capacity in a peer-to-peer connection, just to make that very clear. Once you receive a packet, it just comes through. So then as a result, you know, these hackers can just send their code that they've written straight through to your machine and do whatever they want with it. This is the problem, you know, that's just how it goes. Obviously, you know, more up-to-date games these days, they've got much better security with their netcode and that. It's still not perfect, but it's a lot better. You're still obviously going to get cheaters and that, that's a different topic altogether. But yeah, when it comes to major security things, then of course, you know, more modern stuff is up to date. But older things like Black Ops 2, which is now very old, yeah, it's different. So you just have to be cautious. This is why if you're going to play those sort of things, usually you look for fans that have made patches. So like for Black Ops 2, you can play that online if you want to via Plutonium. It's a launcher basically which has got actual up-to-date security for that game. So that way you don't play it through Steam anymore, you play it through Plutonium, and you've actually got proper security and you don't need to worry about the rat exploits anymore. But this is still no excuse really for Activision to not have come and patched the game on Steam. But there we are. Anyway, it's just that. But you just have to be cautious with what you play and just research things. I would like to add that it's, you know, the multiplayer related games that you just need to keep an eye on. Outside of multiplayer, single player, nah, it's fine. But multiplayer stuff, do keep an eye on things. It's a good idea, especially old multiplayer games, because most of them will be on old internet, you know, architecture designs, which are out of date. Also, you have to bear in mind that a lot of games don't get regular maintenance if they're really old, so yeah, they don't get what they need. Obviously, in the case of like Valve games like Left 4 Dead, they do, because Valve constantly checks their games. So depends on the publisher / developer and also the age of the game, really. But it's only a problem for multiplayer. Just keep an eye on them. But yeah. Just Arkham. Well, Arkham's a solo game, you'll be fine. But yes, anyway. There you go. It's, you know, these things are important topics, and we talked about them in the past, but it's interesting that it's been brought up again, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, there you go. I've given you your little breakdown of it all. So it's quite useful. It's important, in my opinion, anyway, that people are more alert about things these days. A lot of people aren't that alert, and it shows. It's a shame, but what can you do? Anyway, I am going to say that I think we've done enough of this game today. It was nice to come and do this. It was a nice general chill stream to come back to, considering I haven't streamed for like a month and a bit. So it's cool to actually, well, actually it's been nearly 2 months almost. But anyway, yeah, it's nice to come back and do something. I was going to do something horror related. That changed, but it is what it is. We've done something that is fun to come back to in my eyes. I like this game. Anyway, I won't be streaming next weekend because I'm busy doing other things, but I will be back in November, and November time period it won't just be me present, I will also have another person present with me. So it will be kind of a collab related thing, and there's probably going to be a variation of games, but you'll see. So just keep an eye out, there'll be all manner of stuff. But yeah, it's probably going to end up being more horror focused in November because we missed all of October. So I appreciate people want to see horror related things, so it will happen in November. We will do horror games, I promise. And then I guess the last thing is the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. I was going to stream for you lot, but that's just not going to be possible. Due to the way the DRM unfortunately in the game works, and just making it actually physically impossible to be able to play it. If at some point Capcom update that game so that the DRM is not so crap, then yeah, we might be able to do it. But as it stands right now, I physically cannot stream that game for you, so unfortunately we're going to have to put that one on ice, possibly never see it. I don't know, it depends if Capcom sorts it out, but we'll see. Either way, yeah, we'll do other things, it's fine. We'll do other things. So other than that, yeah, there'll be lots of HP videos and things on the way, of course. Like I mentioned, there's the cut content videos, etc. They'll be on their way at some point soon. And of course you've got the new series, which is the video game review series. So the big video in that should, I hope, be out in November. So keep an eye out for that. And well, that's pretty much all I have to say, I think, regarding the outro stuff. There's nothing else to see. So that being said, I appreciate everybody that came by today, especially at such short notice, because it was short notice. I do appreciate that. And yeah, well, I look forward to seeing you all in November. So until then, take it easy everyone, and I'll see you all in November. See you later.